Walt used to call me in on a Friday afternoon with my brother Bob, and he'd sit down over here and say, play it. And I would play Feed the Birds. He loved that song. It was his mantra. I think he was feeding the birds all his life. He was giving love. It doesn't take much to give love. That's what it's all about. So for Walt, I'm getting covered. For Walt, I'm going to sing this one. Early each day to the steps of St. Paul's, the little old bird woman comes in her own special way to the people she calls. Come buy my bags full of crumbs. Come feed the little birds. Show them you care.
Hello, and hello. Welcome to the Leaving Today podcast, episode number 197. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, this afternoon, this evening, however it is, and whenever it is. We very much appreciate it. My name is Mark, one of the co-hosts here. Sitting to the right of me is the trailmaster of puppets himself, Udi.
Good evening.
Hey, what's up?
What up?
What is up? Sitting to the left of me via Skype, or actually, no, this is FaceTime. Actually, I must be.
You always say Skype. I'm like, we
don't really use Skype. But that is Becky. Hey, Becky.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
It's going.
Super fantastic.
You mean super fantastic?
Yo, look at you.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. I gotta find that noise effect. Hold on.
I know where's it.
No, that's not
that
it.
isn't it.
I'm sorry.
Is that the bad pun?
I don't know what that noise is.
Anyway.
But there's a drum roll. Hold on. Nope. Hold on.
That would have been better.
Oh, wait a minute. Nope.
You have not. Okay, this is
I'm
Mark's
gonna program
playtime.
No, I'm gonna program this. There's all kinds of sounds I can throw on here. So sorry, you LTP Nation. You had to endure that little self test right there.
You just started putting. I push the button. What does this one do? By the way, those are famous last words. You know that?
I know.
Like, what did that sign say? And what does this button do? Famous last.
No, I thought it was hold my beer.
No, there is that one too.
Anyways, hey, this is your first time listening to us. Thank you so much. I know we have some new listeners on YouTube. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
We are an honest Disneyland podcast. We love to cover the news. We love to cover the new attractions, food, as you're going to find out today. And we are an honest podcast where we just tell it like it is. We ultimately want the parks to succeed, but sometimes we need
100%.
to be a little bit critical, but that's okay. I think
only a little.
I mean, if you're a fan of anything, I think you gotta have to take the good with the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, not everything is happy and shiny.
No, it's not.
Sadly.
But we know there's other podcasts out there and stuff, and we do appreciate the time you spend with us.
Yep. Absolutely.
If you'd like to get a hold of us or be a part of the show, send us an email at info@leavingtodaypodcast.com. Check us out at Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast. You can DM us if you want to be on the show as well. For that, we also have an LTP lounge. You can get involved in that. We'd like for you to do that. We've got T-shirts on tpublic.com, and all those links are available via Instagram and our website. Today's show is sponsored by you, the listeners. That's Patreon. And if you'd like to get involved in that, again, you guessed it, Instagram and our show, Leaving Today Podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I said that all correctly. Today we have our friend, let's just say special guest, but just part of the LTP family.
Yep.
It's Jay Bratton. He's going to be on. And again, if you're new to all this Disney world, like Life of Disney, he's been around in the Disney game for many, many years, and he's a food connoisseur, as you're going to find out. He goes deep into stuff, makes you think about things. At least he makes me think about things, about ordering things, and changes my perspective, which is I'm sometimes negative about the food, but he kind of sets me straight, and that's fine. Now I'm hungry. Okay.
Me too.
I know. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, like I said, Jay, and then we have the news before that. I don't really have an opening question, except I know I'll make it really, really quick because I know this is a long episode. Becky just came back from from her trip with her family to Disneyland. What was the highlight of your trip, Becky?
Oh, okay. There were so many highlights. Let me think about this for a minute.
Okay.
You have 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
You know, the highlight for me was, I will talk about this later with you guys and Jay, but we did a character breakfast at the Plaza Inn, and that truly was a highlight. Just
Oh, cool.
to see, it was a great breakfast. The character interactions were great. To see my children happy, to see my husband happy, to take in the atmosphere and the Disney music playing. My kids were dancing. That was truly a highlight and a lot of great memories.
Awesome.
Very cool.
That is great to hear. And did you guys buy any merchandise, like any sweatshirts or T-shirts?
Okay, so not for us, but my husband walked. When we were sitting waiting for fireworks, my husband walked my 2-year-old around for a little bit, and he came back with a Jessie doll for her.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she has not put this Jessie rag doll down since we got home. I mean, the whole trip had to carry her. It was actually the sweetest thing. It did make me a little emotional.
Okay.
It was just really sweet. And when she wakes up in the morning, she says, "Where did Jessie go?" Looking for Jessie. It's very cute.
Cool.
So when he came back, I was like, "How much money did you spend?" But it was well worth every penny.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, good. Now, I guess now I've got two more questions, and this is open. It was supposed to be one
Okay.
question. Okay. Where did you guys stay?
Oh, we stayed at Hotel Indigo.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Actually, we had a great experience there. It was a very close walk. I
Mhm.
didn't actually time it, but I mean, within a half mile, really.
Yep.
So
Okay,
very
not bad.
short, close walk. They were very nice to us. When we got there, it was about 12:30 a.m. My children didn't want to go to sleep until 4 a.m. My husband took them out in the lobby, and the person working at the front desk actually gave them some crayons
Oh,
and some little sheets to color. And so he sat in a little area and colored with them for a while. They were very nice there. It was a great experience. Parking is actually free there,
Oh.
which I think is important to note for anybody
Mhm.
driving. My only complaint is the parking spots are very small. We have a larger vehicle. I was the one driving.
okay.
I had to have my husband help kind of get us into the spot just because they are small.
Yeah.
But to me, I will take that to have free parking.
Well, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And
Mhm.
that's good to know that they have free parking. Do they have any sort of breakfast area or
So they did have breakfast area. You had to pay extra to get the breakfast, but it wasn't that expensive. I think maybe $20
Okay.
type of thing for it. You could book it ahead of time. We didn't do that just since it was a short trip and we knew we'd be doing the Plaza Inn breakfast.
Okay, gotcha.
However, they did let us do a late checkout, and since we went to the park and drove home, they said we could leave our car there past our checkout
Oh,
to go to the park
very
and then
cool.
leave, which I thought was very nice
Yeah,
as well.
very much.
Yeah. Did you tell any part of the LTP? Maybe that's why they did that.
Yeah, I think they might have heard of me, and so we might have got some special treatment.
Oh,
on
yeah, I'm
that.
sure. They probably charged you extra.
But I highly recommend them. The bathroom was a large size. They put a crib in the room for us. Very friendly. Great experience.
Awesome. And last question, and I'm guessing the answer is no, but was there any serious talk about getting the magic key?
So there was from me, and I was actually very disappointed, and my husband knew. However, I do also agree with everything. Just this year is a bit busy for us.
Sure.
He is self-employed, so we can't go a lot during the week.
Yeah.
I think we'll go by the end of the year and do another day trip. Typically, when we go, we at least do 3 days at the park.
Okay.
So I just think this year it wouldn't be the year we have availability for it. We're doing a family vacation to Hawaii shortly, and my sister's getting married. That's an expense. We just have other things
Of course.
that we're doing.
I know.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But trust me, he had to hear about it quite a bit on the way home.
Yeah, I was gonna say there must have been a nice drive home.
Yeah, he heard a lot of, well, if we had the magic key, we could just go back next month, or we could just do this.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if you guys go back in the later than a year, then you could revisit that and use that towards the down payment of the magic key, whatever it is.
Yeah, definitely. And I think another thing we really wanted to know is, since it was a fast trip with kids and we're driving 6 hours we didn't know how they would be with that, or how we would be coming back. Would we be too tired going through the week? Would things be off? But they really did well, other than the fact that they didn't want to sleep once we got there.
Sure.
But other than that, they were pretty easy.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, those are my opening questions, and I got them all answered. So thank you very much for playing along, Becky.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, so again, this is a long episode. I'm going to just tell you right now. In fact, if you're listening to it like streaming, you already see what the end time is. So let's get over to the news.
You listen to me now. You are talking about things that you do not understand.
Okay, first news item of episode 197 is Oogie Boogie Bash expands in 2024. Oogie Boogie Bash returns to DCA for 27 nights in 2024. The After Hours Oogie Boogie Bash at DCA expands 27 nights, running select nights starting August 25th through October 31st. Disney hasn't said when tickets will go on sale, but stay posted and stay listening to the OTP because there are not exact, but there are exact dates. There's probably like 4 in August, a handful in September and October. I'm not going to go through the dates. That's boring. But of course, it does wrap up on Halloween night, when I imagine that price point is going to be the highest.
Through the roof.
If that's your jam, have fun. Back in the day, this used to be really, really, inexpensive. I remember the first time we did it, I think it was $25 extra. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that was back, that was back, it was at DCA, then they moved it to Disneyland. Now it's back at DCA. I forget. Ours was at Disneyland a long time ago, and it was such a good deal back then. But now I think it's gotten way out of hand.
Yeah, what was it last year?
I think they're $150, they're $179 or something like that. But these tickets and back when it started, you could buy them like day of if you wanted. Now these are going to be gone probably within 12 hours.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Again, if that's your thing, have fun with it. I've done it enough times where I don't need it to be a thing. But have fun with that thing. I just whatever.
With the price of it now, just because this is something that I've been interested in doing.
Yep.
Do you think, looking at it from the perspective of a parent, when you would take your kids younger, is it something that is worth the value for them, or really not? It's not.
Well, actually, I should tell you, I last summer I was at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party in Florida. And my daughters loved it. They're, I don't know how old they are. How old are my daughters? 26 and 22 or something like that. And no, they had a great time. The older one dressed up, but it was too hot for me dealing with that nonsense. But even when they were younger, they dressed up, and they really, we all had a good time getting candy, and lots of photo ops for things. And kids love it. Even adults that do like the cosplay stuff, I guess, really get into it. And there's some really talented people that do that stuff. That's not even my world, but I enjoy seeing it. So to answer your question, yes, I think your kids would love it, especially here at DCA. The one, that trail that's on the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, I forget what it's called now, but that thing is incredible, just absolutely incredible.
Villains Grove?
Yes, Villains Grove. That thing might be worth the price of admission, and I'm not even trying to be funny. That's like, holy cow. It's so fun and interactive, and just they really captured the day. Was that you?
My shoe, yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Wow.
I don't think for me it's worth $150 or whatever it is a night, and that might be the low end now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I would wait for your kids to be a little bit older to do that.
Yeah, probably more like 5, 6.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, it's still a good time. I don't need to really do it anymore. Although it's funny because we're going to be there. I think we're going to be there one of the nights. September 26th. And my daughters asked if they wanted to do it. And I said, I don't need to, but if you guys really want to do it, I'll go in and whatever. But I don't think so. I really don't think we're going to do that. Okay, so that's happening soon. All right, next news item is Phantasmic dining packages now available to be reserved at Blue Bayou. Phantasmic returns to Disneyland Resort Friday, May 24th. In fact, this show will be out the Monday after that.
Yep.
And Disney last week released details of the premium Phantasmic dining package at the Blue Bayou restaurant. Your lunch or dinner reservation includes a 5-course meal. I'm usually only used to a 4-course meal, so this is a bonus for me. There's an extra course, a souvenir item for non-alcoholic beverages. Actually, I have that. I actually have what that item is here in my closet here. A Phantasmic-inspired chocolate decadence tart for dessert, and a voucher providing entry to a reserved viewing area for that evening's performance of Phantasmic. You choose your meal and showtime when you book your reservation. Pricing is $90 per age 10 and older, and $35 for children ages 3 to 9. Holy cow! Okay, so you can choose between surf and turf, Oscar-style filet mignon, blackened ribeye and bourbon shrimp, gumbo, heirloom tomato and watermelon salad, strawberry and pistachio salad. Okay. Yeah, okay. They're noting that the reservation does not include chairs, and they are all viewing areas are for sitting on the ground with accommodations for guests with disabilities. Reservations are available 60 days through the Disneyland website. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So I think Blue Bayou is going to be the higher end of the 3 restaurants that they had these for.
Yep.
Hungry Bear and River Belle Terrace being the other 2.
The other one, yep.
So 89.
When you think about it, not horrible.
No, I mean,
Not
no.
For
horrible.
the food choices, I don't think it is, and for all you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My only thing is for that, I would want a seat. I would want a chair to watch the show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that you
They
get
used
why
to-
they do it.
They used to give you like a pad, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that, Jess has that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
She had mentioned that she had that. In fact, we saw it at her house. Yeah. It's the pad thing, but I don't think they mentioned giving you a pad anymore.
No, I don't know
No,
if they
it
do.
doesn't say that.
Yeah. Yeah, they used to give you a little cushion sitting pad, like so you weren't sitting on the ground on the hard ground. Maybe they do, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if they stopped. But for that price point, I mean, why not?
Yeah, I've done the Hungry Bear one when they had that.
Yep, I've done that as well, and I had a really good experience. But I don't know. I'm just sort of thinking if Phantasmic is something you really want to do, and you're going to be eating dinner anyways. I would imagine if there's 2 of you, what's it going to be for dinner anyways? If we went to the Blue Bayou, it's going to be around $45-$50 a person.
Yep.
True.
So you're paying a little bit more for viewing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When in Rome.
Yeah, no. Honestly, if you're really into it, it's not a horrible deal.
No.
And I'm sure the viewing area is really nice.
Yeah.
I think that if it's important to you to go on your trip and you need to see Phantasmic and you want a good seat, then I think it'd be worth it.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Okay, what would Becky order then? The surf and turf, the filet mignon, the ribeye and bourbon shrimp, gumbo, tomatoes and watermelon salad, or strawberry and pistachio salad? What would Becky order? I have no idea. I mean, we don't know much about Becky, which is strange to say, but I'm gonna say let's eliminate gumbo right off the bat. I don't think she'll. What do you think, Udi? You think she's gumbo? And I'm also trying to think about Udi. What would Udi get? I think Udi would get the filet mignon.
Yep, bingo.
That's what I would get. Becky might be a filet mignon.
You should get a filet mignon.
Well, she could, I mean, I don't know. Salad could be good too, but
that's what I'm going with.
But that's an expensive salad, dude.
Is it really?
I mean, that better be the best
That
salad.
is what I would want to go for. but that is exactly what I would be thinking. Like, okay, but I am spending like $90.
Okay.
I maybe should get surf and turf. But the salad would be what I would want.
Okay. But the ribeye and bourbon shrimp could be good too. I'm not a seafood guy, but but I do like shrimp. I don't get it very often, or very rarely do I get it, but I do like it. Okay. So we all wait a minute. So what did you say you were going to surf and turf. Okay. There you go.
Yep.
Book it. All right. Next news item, and this is exciting. Tiana's Bayou Adventure gets Walt Disney World opening date. Disney announced the opening date for Tiana's Bayou Adventure last Sunday during the broadcast of American Idol. Who watched that? Nobody.
No.
The ride will open in Florida on June 28th, following a preview period for cast members, annual pass holders, and Disney Vacation Club members. Yeah, I already told the girls that if they do want like a Magic Key preview before our trip, we're gonna go down for the day and do it. And they said, okay,
that's great. We should.
Yeah, but if they do it after September, I said we might try to do it for a day. It just, I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm glad they're doing this. I'm glad that cast members always get a preview.
They do.
But I'm glad they're including annual pass holders and DVC members. Now, when this goes on prior to the opening, I think we are going to go LTP Lounge and do a POV.
Mm-hmm.
Go walk through the whole thing and analyze it and complain.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. Are you excited about this at all, Becky?
I am feeling a lot more excited than I was before. I really am.
You know, I am too, and especially after talking to Philander, because I got,
Same.
yeah, I wasn't. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about it. I wasn't jazzed about the idea, and I'm still not really jazzed. But he's kind of instilled a lot more confidence.
Yeah, we don't have to be excited about it, but just be good.
Just be good.
Just be good.
Yeah. I think that now I've gotten to a point where it's happening, so I want to look at it positively, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm past the point of like, why did you have to change something that I love?
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, I've worked past that and I'm taking aside those feelings, even though I still think that way. And I'm thinking, okay, what's this going to be now?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's a good way to do it.
And that's what you call acceptance.
Acceptance.
I've processed through it, through grief and everything.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Your grief.
Yeah, but acceptance. And like I said, I'm trying hard to have an open mind about it, and
until we write it, and then we don't like it, and then we're gonna begin that whole.
Oh yeah.
cycle again.
Yeah, it's gonna be very hard not to write it and constantly think about Splash.
Oh yeah,
That's
I mean there's no way around that.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's fair to not like it.
Yeah.
You don't have to go, oh, this is the best thing ever because of this. No.
Yeah. And then, on the flip, if it is really good, then enjoy it. I guess what you're trying to say is if you like it, be real about it. If you don't like it, be real about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, but it is coming. So we're going to plug our nose and jump in feet first, I suppose.
Do you have any predictions on when you think Disneyland's going to be done?
Excellent question, Becky. So I know we were at the onset about 4 or 5 months behind Disney World, but I think that and it's the same team that's working on both, and so I think they learned a lot from Disney Worlds, and now they're kind of ramping up things for us.
I'm going September.
I'm thinking September as well. So if there's just June 28th, and 2 months would be August 28th. I say probably mid-September.
Yeah, I'm going mid-late.
Okay.
Mid-late
is
September.
My guess. Yep. Yes, that's my guess. They definitely want to have it online for the holidays. But I'm thinking they're ramping. I mean, in fact, they've already been running water in the flumes. I've not seen any logs go down there yet, but at least talk about ours. So yeah, my guess is I'm gonna be in agreement with Udi on that.
Yeah, I think probably by the launch or just after the launch of Halloween at the park.
Yeah, so that's when I'm going to be down there. So we shall see how it all goes.
Unless, maybe a little after.
Yeah.
I think they do that August now.
Yeah, well, you did. Yeah, it is. I mean, they started. We just talked about that. August 25th is the first.
Okay, so probably like a month into that.
We'll still see. Okay. Tying in with that is Tiana's Bayou Adventure Construction takes over Critter Country in Disneyland. We talked about this in the last episode. Is Critter Country at Disneyland has closed temporarily for continued construction of Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It's funny. We have acronyms for things. We can call this TBA, I suppose. That's funny. TBA and the transformation of the land's gift shops. The Briar Patch will become Ray's Berets, and the left side of Pooh's Corner will become Lewis's Critter Club. No, that's fine and dandy, but we're looking at pictures that guests have taken from the Disneyland Railroad.
Yeah.
They're not just taking apart signs and retheming stores. Udi, give us some insight. What are they doing construction-wise?
They are actually demoing. They're demoing a lot of the walkway, which I find interesting. And I don't know why they would have needed to do that.
You know what? It's funny you say that, because when I was there last month, was it last month? I was there April, yeah. We walked down here because Wendy hadn't really been down that area before. My comment, well, I don't think I ever said anything to her, but my thought was, it looks like because there were walls that were pushed way out from the back, and I go, are they going to move the queue down here? Because this is what I go, this looks like this might be what they're doing, but it didn't look like anything like this.
No, and I don't know why. Again, they're ripping up concrete and stuff. I'm trying to figure out why, and I'm trying to see where they're pulling it from in these pictures, in the pictures.
I mean, does it look a bit excessive to you, Becky?
Yeah, it looks like way more than I thought that they were going to do.
Yeah, when you look at it, they're ripping out a lot of that near the back end of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, could it be that they are trying to move the queue down there?
You know,
I think that's a good guess.
well, I don't know. Okay, 'cause, maybe, or make it where you're a little bit more in that area, a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. You're more immersed in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did
I
you
really can't tell.
Did you notice it was weird to not be able to go to Critter Country when you were there?
Yeah, it felt a little bit sad.
Yep.
It did.
Were we?
Or, well, that and with Mansion, kind of that whole area, it felt sad to me because I really like that whole area of the park.
Oh,
and
it's
then to have like Mansion dark, Splash Mountain dark, all of Critter Country dark.
yes. That is well, yeah, for sure. That is strange. It seems to me though that Ud and I were there when Splash Mountain was closed, and I think all of Critter Country was closed once. You couldn't get past the Haunted Mansion, and I remember some lady was standing in line going, "Why? How do you get to Splash Mountain?" And thinking, "Well, you don't. It's been shut down for weeks," and they didn't even know that. But it doesn't matter. Yeah. So, anyways,
They need to listen to our show.
yeah. So, stay informed. I should hand them my card.
Yep.
If you really want to know. But no, I mean, this is a lot more than what they were saying, and we'll be curious to see what they're doing.
You don't think they'd be paving the walkway differently, right? Like
They
cobblestone or
could
something?
be depending on what they want to do, because when you look at it, they're ripping up the walkway.
Yeah, that's a good call, Becky. I mean, it could just be that. It could be exactly what they're doing, making it more thematically correct to align with what they're doing here.
I don't know why you'd need to, but hey.
It doesn't look like they're doing any sort of like.
The other thing would be piping underneath, but but to be honest though, you wouldn't with these photos. You're not there yet. That would be in a few days after. Well, it all depends. I can't just blanket say, well, they're gonna start digging up right here.
No, who knows? Yeah. But I think Becky might be right. I think they might be trying to add some new pavement, and it just could be cosmetic. Wonder how long this is going to be. I mean, this has to be wrapped up before, I would say August.
Yeah.
So where are we? May, June, July. So in like 3 months, but that's a long time. They have,
Well, do you think then they're just gonna unveil all of this when Splash Mountain opens?
No, I'm
You
going
think
with
this
no.
will be before and then
I'm going to.
Splash
If
Mountain?
anything, it'll be after.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
hold on a second. Let me.
If
think about
they
the
don't do
question.
if they don't redo all of that and open it day of, I'm gonna go with they're gonna be opening late.
Well, okay, so the Haunted Mansion retheme, the queue, the Madame Leota's shop, all has to be done before August,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that comes online before TBA,
Yeah.
and which we were guessing September.
Mm-hmm.
So Becky's question is, are they going to open this in time or before TBA? No, you don't think so? You think they're going to have Critter Country shut down until September?
I'm of the mind that unless it opens with the opening of it all in one time,
Yeah.
it'll be after.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
Because Disney's been really, really, really slow at rolling things out. I mean,
Ooh.
and
Yeah.
and so that I just think looking at their track record, this is going to be after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it needs to be with it, in my opinion.
yes.
Yeah.
But
I
I wouldn't.
think
I
so,
wouldn't be
too.
surprised. I was like, well, that still isn't open. I'm like, okay.
Well, the only thing though is when you get off of TBA now, you do end right there.
Yep.
Like you have to walk through it, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
To get out.
Yep.
Yep. Still doesn't mean they can't
But, I
reroute
mean,
and
yeah,
do
you're
other
right.
things.
Doesn't mean they can't reroute.
Yep. Yep. I'm just going on their track record as of late.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Next news item. Speaking of construction and ramping things up, and this is not news to anybody. If you're anywhere near the Disney, if you're in the world of Disney, you've been paying attention to this. On May 7th, Anaheim City Council approves Disneyland Forward. It was approved anonymously.
Unanimously.
What did I say? Anonymously?
Anonymous.
Okay, sorry.
Anonymously.
No,
Jeez. Okay.
I think we know who voted on it.
Yeah, no, sorry. The Anaheim City Council has unanimously approved Disneyland Forward, a $1.9 billion project that provides more flexibility for Disneyland Resort to use its existing property in Anaheim to develop new theme park attractions and lands, as well as new hotel, shopping, dining, and parking. Unlike its Orlando counterpart, Disneyland it is bordered on all sides by residential and commercial areas, while not technically billed as an expansion. Since Disneyland Forward does not involve the acquisition of any new land, the ambitious project provides new options for Disneyland to repurpose its existing property, including with mixed-use buildings and possibly even a third theme park. So yeah, this is not news to anybody, but this is something that we are going to be talking about on LTP as we get news about it. We're going to be speculating, and we're going to be critiquing. We're going to be weeping, I assume. No, I don't know what we're going to be doing. It's just that this is something that's happening. I'm glad it's happening. Never a dull moment in the world of Disney. I mean, we start a podcast. Gosh, I wonder if we're going to ever have any news to talk about.
Well, we also survived the pandemic doing it.
Yes,
So
yes,
there you
we did.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you think about that, we still made it through.
So now the question is, what's coming to Disneyland? While Disney has deliberately not committed to any specific lands, attractions, or experiences for the Disneyland Forward project, Ken Potrak has repeatedly pointed out the new World of Frozen in Hong Kong and new Zootopia themed land in Shanghai as examples of the, air quote, types of experiences, end quote, that may be coming to California.
Maybe.
The one exception to that position is the recently confirmed Avatar land that Potrak has directly connected to Disneyland Forward. Avatar is at the top of the imaginary list for Disneyland Resort. But what we can do with his experience regarding the size and scope is inherently influenced by Disneyland Forward. Potrak told the council, "We want to go beyond replacing and reimagining current attractions and lands and bring new expanded experiences like Cars Land, Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge, and Adventures Campus." Yeah. So that's what we're dealing with right now. Speculation. Everyone's got their own opinions about what's happening. But Bob Iger this last week confirmed that almost all the investments in Disneyland parks will be IP based. And I am not a big fan of that particular direction. I want original content coming here. Udi's got a comment.
Well, okay.
That's shocking. Udi has a comment.
I know. Well, IP based isn't. If you, I guess it's going to be what your how do I put it? How you apply that term? Okay, because an IP base is whatever. So you can make the argument that you have a Peter Pan attraction, you have an IP base, you have Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the entirety is Star Wars based, Haunted, IP based. So I don't.
It wasn't when it started.
Well, okay, but we're in a different era now. Okay, so IP to me is an incredibly generic term now. Incredibly generic.
Sure.
And now, here's the caveat to that. When Bob Iger has made these comments and looking at his track record, we kind of know what that means.
Yes.
That means it's things he's bought. So honestly,
yeah.
Honestly, the continued push for Avatar in Disneyland is beginning to aggravate me.
Ooh.
Because I'm going to go out and say it. When they did Galaxy's Edge, it made sense. And coming away from me being a Star Wars fanatic, let me put that aside.
Okay.
At that point in time, looking at the IP, how much it was worth, and in general, not just the movie franchises, but in marketing and merch, okay? Billions upon billions, okay? Disney's gone ahead and screwed that entirely up, but we're not going to go there.
No.
But I'll go back to it. The only thing that Avatar is done well in the box office. Again, the fervor for Avatar isn't as great as he is thinking. So I don't mind it. Okay, cool. But when you're like, Avatar, everybody's like, why? Most people are like, why? They're going to be excited. I'm excited for something new.
Sure.
But when I hear Avatar, I'm like, dude, it's not. There. You can go back into the well. That things are infinitely more iconic and have like. Again, we've talked about a whole villains thing. I mean, you think of Villains Mountain, you take all the iconic IPs that are already there,
right.
Villains that infinitely more people connect with.
Yeah.
Than Avatar.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Well, and going back to what you said, even I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but even without knowing all of the movies inside and out, I can be able to recognize iconic characters. I know R2-D2. I know CP3O.
C3PO.
Like, oh, you're close enough.
C3PO, we got you.
003 CP.
Stop it.
But I mean, I can recognize. We can
Darth
recognize
Vader.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I can't tell you anybody from Avatar.
Yeah.
No.
And I've seen it. I saw the first one. I still couldn't list to you.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. It's just it's not as iconic.
Yeah, no, and there is my point. Like, there is nothing wrong with that. They would do, and now this is going to sound crazy coming from me, they would be much better and make infinitely more sense if they did something based around Frozen.
Oh.
Frozen has proven itself to be an iconic, even though I don't like it.
Yeah.
But it has proven, it has gained that level of Disney icon status.
Yep.
In an IP. It really has.
Sure.
So for them to go, we're going to make a Frozen, I would have been like, cool. And would I go? I would go there and I would do that.
You would, yeah.
I would, because you're like, okay, cool. Like, again, Avatar to me is such a fleeting thing that, again, it fits in the animal kingdom. It fits like a hand in the glove because what's there. Here it doesn't work. And this is where I get a little irritated. Like, okay, cool, but don't put it as your main thing. Like, you cannot do that, because I think you're at least in this park. And this is my worry with Disney Forward. They're going to be, and because Bob Iger will not shut up about it, Avatar. And I'm like, dude, that's too easy. That's too easy. Like, come on, yeah.
Well, and the other thing, though, okay, he's pushing it. And as Mark, you just said, you think people are going to be excited because it's something new. Or one of you guys just said that.
I think he said that.
Okay, well, even if it was Frozen, don't you think people would be just as excited for something new, if not more excited?
They would
going
be.
off of that. Or something inspired by Tangled.
Yeah.
There's still such a big following, and it's a classic. Yeah. I guess I'm having a hard time understanding why Avatar.
Again, yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit more in that for I'm a little bit more in that geek space, and I don't see that fervor. I don't see that what's the word, that organic, organic following for it to that level.
No.
James Cameron is being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Well, and when you think about it, he's not bad. But my point is, this is like Disney would have never had if they never bought Fox. So that is my other point. So Disney, that's my only worry. I'm not saying he's going to do that, but the fact that he won't shut up and that's all that's coming out of his mouth for the most part, then I'm like, oh, okay. What? I mean, it's going to come. It's going to be fine. But I just think that we cannot anchor anything around that. We're not in Disneyland. Not in Disneyland.
Well, my thought about, well, I have a lot of thoughts, but I know very little about Avatar, but I really enjoyed the land just because I thought it was, immersive. To me, it could have been Adventureland or something. I had no idea it was. I mean, I knew it was at Avatar, the World of Pandora, but to me, it was just beautiful. I was like, this is awesome. I want to hang out here and check things out. I don't really care that it was Avatar based. And maybe people are looking at it like that as well. Like, we have this brand new land to explore. And if it's this water ride, this boat ride thing that could be based on the engine on Shanghai's Pirates, that's even better.
Well, again, so that's my thing is like, if you're going to do that, then it needs to be something big, and it can't. And I guess it's something that needs to be because when you do that, then you're creating more than just like it's Avatar.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's becoming a bigger thing. So if they do that, then like okay, but I guess my concern is that by laser focusing in on that, like. Are you going to now negate maybe another good idea because you won't let that go?
Or is it something where kind of like a tactic of he's pulling all our attention to Avatar, and then boom, they're going to surprise us with something that
he's not that
no
smart.
one expects. Okay.
Well,
wishful thinking.
Yeah,
I do feel there are some surprises along the way coming.
There will be. There always is.
Probably they're not. We're not. If I know myself, I'm not going to be too jazzed about it. But I do hope that this becomes the extension of DCA, and that is the only.
Me too.
Then I'm talking about that Pixar Pier parking lot, because there's enough room in there for this and a couple other things as well.
Yep. Well, and I think the one caveat we also can't forget about is that whatever is going to go on from this is going to be beyond Iger. Okay? Iger, I hope, for the good of company, he's out in the year, he's got a year and a half, 26, 27, that he's out. I think.
Famous last words.
Yeah, I think it's time. I think that's one of you guys all know my rant. Disney's well overdue for new blood. To turn over leadership in every division.
Yeah.
Maybe not parks, but I mean, from top, the presidents of Pixar, Lucasfilm, and Disney, Bob Iger, they need to go. I think it's time to rejuvenate that
Yeah.
tree of creativity.
Sure.
Because they're going to settle in, and you get comfortable, and then you keep on going back to the well. And I think that's where we're at. Not
Right.
that they're going to be bad, but I'm like, how about we go with something really out of the park? Something
Yeah.
out of. So that's my hope, and that's my concern with the current leadership at Disney Corp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't disagree. And you're right. This is going to be beyond Iger's tenure at Disney. The other thing I was thinking about is, that with this World of Frozen, if it comes on to the Disneyland side beyond Critter Country there, I'd be cool with that. But Fantasy Springs is starting up, and we saw the videos for Tangled, which I thought looked great.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Yeah,
I want that.
It did look amazing.
And the other thing that I know that on the artwork, you've got Skull Rock and Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Well, what is your thought though? I mean, because Disneyland has to be dealt with and handled differently than any of the other parks because
100%.
you have the existing Peter Pan attraction is sitting right there in Fantasyland.
Mm-hmm.
How is that going to jive with a new version of Peter Pan in this Disney? Is that going to work?
No.
It isn't, right?
No.
As much as we want Skull Rock and everything to be there again, I'm thinking you have to be careful and respectful of our Fantasyland.
And this is why I knee jerk and cringe a little bit with the repeated avatar, and I keep on going with this.
Mm-hmm.
After Disneyland and after Disney World, any other park is another park.
Yep.
Per se.
Yep.
Disneyland is a different animal, 100%. It is unlike any other park on the planet, and that's just not. I'm not just saying that because it's my favorite park, but when you really look at it in history, lore, construction, footprint, everything else that's out there, there is no other park like it. Period.
Nothing.
So unless it's treated with that level of recognition as a whole, then you run the risk of doing something dumb.
Yeah.
Okay, you just do. So that's my worry, and this is what I'm saying. It's my worry about the company. Where do they have the proper leadership to continue to usher in these people who love the park and understand its history, and not just like Walt Disney Company. I'm talking about Disneyland. And that is always the thing, is like, everybody goes, well, Walt said the park was always going to change. Okay, true.
It's never going to be finished. Yeah, whatever.
But my point still lies that there is a core tenet to Disneyland that has been tried to reproduce on other lands in other parks, but it's never gotten there. The hominess, the feeling, and again, the attachment that people have to Disneyland proper is hard to find in any other park.
Sure.
Period. Whether you grew up going to Walt Disney World or if you're in one of the overseas parks, I really highly doubt. I think most people can recognize that Disneyland started everything. So that has a particular high level of reverence that any Disney fan will automatically pay to it if they're really a Disney fan. They'll walk in there, and if they've never been there, let's say their first park they ever went to was an overseas, somebody from overseas, a Shanghai, and they've never been there. They actually come all the way out to California, and they're a huge fan of the park. I think they would give a new level of respect when they walk in and go like, Walt walked here.
Yeah, hopefully.
Like this, and so that's what I'm saying. So that's why Walt, you can't say that about any other park, so it needs to be held. So I get a little, you all know that we all get a little defensive, like, ugh, and this is part of it. So the IP portion of it, I don't have a problem with per se.
No, I guess not.
At the core of what it is.
Sure.
But my concern then is because looking at Bob Iger's track record, for him it isn't creating IP, it's buying IP. And that's where the little hair stand up on the back of my leg, like, what is that? What do you really mean, Bob?
Yeah. So it's exciting times for sure, but a bit nerve wracking a little bit for me because we think Avatar could be coming to this new plot of land, repurposed plot of land of Pixar. But the other thing that kind of bothers me a little bit is that if they're focusing on this, what about Tomorrowland? And
that's a great point.
And if they're going to pull something like and go, well, guess what? Avatar Land's coming to Tomorrowland.
Oh no.
Then that would be like, oh no, dude, you cannot do that.
No,
but I have a fear that they could be thinking that as well.
You can't do that.
They can do whatever they want.
No. But you cannot do that because okay. How many videos have we all watched about somebody? Oh, this can go right here. It's
sure.
Dude. This is when they're ignorant about the nuts and bolts of the park in that land. They don't know what's underground. They don't know about the counterweights. They don't know, or they don't think about, oh, we'll just move it. Like, bro, it's not that easy. Right. These are the people who are ignorant to that. So, no, to me, I'm honestly firmly in the camp now that I will be probably dead before something significant happens to Tomorrowland.
Oh, I don't think so. I think Tomorrowland has to be on their sites.
No. With Disney Forward? Nah.
I don't know, Becky. What do you say about that?
I feel like Tomorrowland is so forgotten about.
Oh, it is.
I know I joked with you guys not that long ago, like, will my great grandchildren see a new Tomorrowland?
Uh-huh.
I mean, the fact that they don't say anything about it, I don't know. I don't think we're going to see anything from it. If that would be the most shocking thing to me, is if I heard something's changing in Tomorrowland. I don't even think they would make Avatar Land there.
No, they really do not need to do that.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know, though.
I don't know either. But
I have no idea what direction they could even take it.
Nope. Neither do I. But I mean, hopefully we hear something. I don't know. We'll do more about D23 prediction as we get closer to it, because I'm not going to delve on that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it got approved, and I think they cannot start anything until June 7th. So I wonder if we're going to hear anything before D23.
I'm going to go with no.
No?
Yep.
Well, I hope you're wrong, because I want to hear anything that I want to hear. And I do hope that they, and this is getting Udi worked up, the turbocharging the parks, it was just their words, not mine.
I know.
I hope that means that, okay, let's invest in construction teams and move this as long as we possibly can.
Well, my only problem has always been with the word turbocharging, because it's such a generic and it's so ambiguous. So, like, what does that mean? Like, when they say we're going to turbocharge the park, okay, then how? Just tell me how. We're good. But no, they say it and we just expect it at face value. We're turbocharging it.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Same thing with I have the same problem with common sense gun control. What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know. Explain to me and I'll listen. But
who knows?
Then, yeah.
Who knows?
Same problem. Like, what do you mean by that?
Okay, well,
what does that really look like?
Thinking though about the area going outside of like Critter Country and in that area,
yes,
I do think that Tangled, something inspired by Tangled, would flow really well there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
even
for
more
sure.
so. I mean, Frozen would too, because you
It
have
could
the
flow
enchanted
from
forest.
it could
and stuff.
flow from one into the other.
Yeah, just seamlessly. But I mean, my opinion doesn't matter.
Oh, it matters, but no, you're right. I mean, that would be great.
Yep,
for sure.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but that's wishful thinking. I don't want to see Avatar in Disneyland proper at all.
Oh no,
neither do I, and I don't want to see anything replicated.
And honestly, the only reason why Galaxy's Edge worked in Disneyland proper is because it was outside of Disneyland proper.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. They took land that wasn't really part of Disneyland proper. Not
correct.
really.
No, correct. You're correct.
So it's like an add-on on top of it, not gutting that and then putting it in a place. They actually said we're going to put it over there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, and like your trip, Mark, you completely didn't even go into it. Did you even go into it, Becky?
No, I didn't.
See? You can completely
No.
forget about that land and not even be like. I mean, to me, it's a bad thing, but
No,
that means that's how little it impacts Disneyland proper.
Well, it would be a lot different if you got into the park and down Main Street and then you turned and where Tomorrowland is, it's Galaxy's Edge.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
would lose the power of what Galaxy's Edge is when you walk in
for sure.
Yep.
I also think that we're getting way off tangent because I know Jay's waiting and people want to hear Jay, not us. But is this whole Season of the Forest thing? When I was there, it was going on. I had no idea it was even going on. I mean, except for Hyperspace Mountain. I knew it was happening, but there were no signs. And I'm thinking to myself, do they need to keep doing this? You have a land dedicated to Star Wars.
Yep.
Why are you pushing this stuff out in Tomorrowland still?
Yep. There's
True.
the problem.
I mean,
And
But I guess why are they doing Pixar Fest? Because they do have a land or an area dedicated to that. Why aren't they building that up?
right, exactly right. And
Well, those are very interesting questions, and this is where I point my finger at Disney marketing because I think this is them throwing spaghetti on the wall a little bit to figure out what people are going to adhere to. Because, because the rumors coming out of Lucasfilm are interesting as of late, so we'll see.
I don't want to hear more about Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, she's going to be fired this time. He'll be fired next time.
Not even that.
Okay, good.
Has nothing to do with her.
Okay, good. I don't want to hear more about her.
I don't either.
But no, this whole Season of the Force thing, it's very odd. And if I were part of TDA and we're sitting in the meeting, we're doing Season of the Force April 3rd through May 6th. Why? Why are we doing that? So what does that mean? Oh, we're going to have a special galactic burger. And what?
Yeah. No, you're right.
And Captain Phasma, what is Phasma even doing over here? She should be over in Galaxy's Edge. Why are we messing?
Not to mention, you have people paying how much, $150 to $185 or whatever to go to Star Wars Night. Why not save that stuff to be special for that?
Yeah, well,
for sure, absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely
if you're
right.
Gonna have that.
Again, this is where you're looking at the current iterations of Disney merch and promotions and thinking you guys are not doing a good job.
Yep.
Because, honestly, without going to a diatribe, there are many reasons why I think that is. I'll just leave it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are many reasons.
Many. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up the news. Unless, Becky, you have anything else you want to add to the news?
No, that's it.
Okay. So just to recap, we will be clearly talking about Disneyland Forward and for probably the next foreseeable future because we don't know what's going to happen. And then we will be critiquing it, of course. And that's because that's just what we do. So everything now is speculation and hopes and rumor. Okay, so that's going to wrap up the news. Now we're going to go talk to our friend Jay. He's got some Pixar Fest reviews as well as Becky. And we're going to talk about that, talk about Downtown Disney and drinks and all kinds of foods. Yeah. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up. Let's go to the feature presentation.
And now for our feature presentation.
Hey, LTP listeners, this is our feature presentation. Of course, we are joined by our good friend, part of the LTP family, someone who's, again, Disney food legend, and I don't know why he's not going to be nominated this year or getting his Disney Legend Award.
We didn't do enough.
We did not do enough.
Our bad.
But it is our good friend, Jay Bratton. Hey, Jay.
Hey, to infinity and beyond, baby.
There you are. Yes. Okay, so today Jay is going to talk to us about Pixar Fest. He was just there a couple days ago, and also Becky got to experience it about a week ago. So they're going to sort of talk about their experiences and exchange notes about what they saw and more importantly, maybe what they ate or what they didn't eat. And then also, I think Jay's got a little bit of Downtown Disney restaurant review, it looks like. So I definitely want to delve into that because I'm very curious about that as well. Does that sound good?
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, so which one of you two wants to start the show off here with this?
I'm actually curious where Becky ate.
Okay. Well, one of the first things I tried, which I know wasn't, I don't think it was specific to Pixar Fest, but was the dill pickle sparkling lemonade.
Ah, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
which I know you tried that as well.
Mhm.
I actually surprisingly loved it. Or maybe not so surprisingly. I love pickles. I love lemonade. It was great to me. The only thing I would have changed is Minute Maid lemonade is a little sweet to me. I prefer a tartar fresh lemonade, but I thought that it was great. I felt like I was getting some electrolytes in for my day. I thought it was wonderful. My husband tried it, and he thought it would taste good with like vodka or something like that.
I actually didn't even think about that.
Tequila,
Hey, hats off to him, man. It's like that's a brilliant idea.
And actually, since I've been home, I've tried to make it myself too. And I haven't perfected it. I tried some lemonade from In-N-Out. It didn't do the trick. So I think I need to make a fresh lemonade and try it. What did you think of it?
No, I actually concur with you 100%. My wife loved it as well. It's a bit of a controversial drink, right? Because some people love it, some people hate it, and I'm kind of in between, to be honest. It's at one point, it's like it feels like it's kind of refreshing, but then that salty element, you're just like, oh wait, this it kind of like throws your perceptions off a bit. You know what I mean? It's like instead of being like light and refreshing, you get that salty element that sort of like kind of like confuses your mind a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as like the Minute Maid lemonade, I agree with you 100%. I think that fresh squeezed lemonade would have been like loads better. It was just kind of because it's artificial sweetener. I think that's the reason why maybe that it was not as appealing to me. And then also, like the pickle juice is like, I think that it could have been, I don't know, like a little more bright or something. The pickle juice is just kind of like, Vlasic pickle juice that you just, put however amount that they do. I'm going to try to replicate it myself, but I'm going to try to use more elevated ingredients. Like you said, fresh squeezed lemonade. And then I'm going to use like some higher end pickle juice and then see if I can maybe even punch it up a notch more. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. My wife loved it. And obviously you loved it. So, it's one of those things, at least it's a conversation piece. And I'm glad that Disneyland is daring enough to make that a drink to have to offer people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like it's kind of unique. It's something different. And like you said, it is controversial and kind of gets a conversation going.
Right.
I like that. When I did try it at home, I did put some dill in it, some fresh dill.
Interesting.
And I think that would be a good route to go. I just need to perfect some measurements and get the fresh squeeze going.
Exactly.
So
No, I agree.
I have a question though. It says Sprite. Did you taste that at all? If they would have added more or taken away, would that have
I think they
changed
should
it?
have added a little bit more because, well, at least for our drink, I mean, I don't know about Becky's, but ours, the carbonation was a little bit flat. It wasn't really present, and the Sprite honestly doesn't really add too much to it in terms of like, the lemonade is more of the like majority taste element versus the Sprite itself, because Sprite is lemon lime and there's really no lime present at all.
Yep.
In the
Well, and that's why I asked, because Sprite being something that could kind of cut it on both the sweetness and then and with the carbonated water kind of has a tendency to kind of cut through some of that overly sweet aspect of it. That's why I was curious.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I would say they should have added more Sprite, then maybe had a more condensed version of the lemonade, where you make the lemonade a little more potent, but not so it adds that sour and tart element, but you still get the carbonation as well.
I totally agree with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess while we're on Main Street, the other thing I tried was the ice cream cone. That
you-
looks like Mike from
Oh, Mike
Gibson
Wazowski?
Girl.
What is that?
Yeah, like
Is
Mike.
that it?
Oh,
No.
I can't
Oh, no.
talk.
From Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Monsters, Inc.
Oh yeah, Mike Wazowski.
Was that
Yes.
pistachio? Wasn't that? Is that what it was? Yeah.
So it was a pistachio ice cream. I thought it was fantastic. The pistachio tasted so fresh. There, of course, were bits of pistachios in it. I love a good pistachio ice cream, but I don't like artificial flavor
Right.
pistachio. It tasted like a fresh pistachio. The chocolate around it was very thick, a very good chocolate. I actually could not eat all the chocolate. I did eat all the ice cream from the inside, but I could not eat the chocolate. There was so much of it, but it was great. And then the cone just seemed like a basic sugar cone. I actually couldn't eat that either because it was so big.
Was that at Gibson Girl?
It was at Gibson Girl,
Okay.
yes.
Mm.
And it was good. It seemed very popular.
Yeah, we didn't get that, but Gibson Girl for the most part, they do a really good job on their ice cream.
They
Yep.
do.
Every year at Christmas time, my wife insists on getting the peppermint ice cream. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure that this was, worthwhile as well. And maybe next time, because we're actually going to go back in about a month.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so basically, maybe we'll try to add that to our list and incorporate it into our day.
I think you should. It definitely was worth having. And it really hits, it's very sweet. So it hits a sweet tooth. The ice cream's fresh. It's great.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yes. Then another thing I tried, which I know Jay will not like this, is the Adventure is Out There cold brew from Troubadour Tavern. So for me, it was a little too much coffee for me as well.
Ooh.
I don't drink a lot of coffee myself. I have a specific cold brew I like that my husband tells me doesn't taste like coffee. It tastes like the protein powder I got in my coffee. But the flavor was great. My husband loved it. He said it was fantastic. So I definitely would recommend that for coffee drinkers out there.
I had seen. Sorry to interrupt if I interrupted.
No, that's okay.
So, I've, like I said, I follow a variety of vlogs out there, and a lot of people have gotten that drink. And one of the things that they had mentioned was that it was like super sweet. Was it super sweet to you?
No, because all I could really taste was the coffee.
Oh,
I do
interesting.
think, though, if you are a coffee connoisseur, yes, it probably would be really sweet. Just because it does have, I think, toffee.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah,
I think
or,
butterscotch or toffee or something like that.
butterscotch, yeah.
Right.
So yes, but to me, no. The coffee was so strong to me. So I think you would feel the same on that. But I'd be curious of what your wife's opinion would be.
Right. Well, we'll have to check it out next time we go.
Yeah.
And I drink black coffee, so I don't know how that would be.
very
As a rule,
sweet to you.
as a rule, I'm like black coffee, black. Yeah.
Yeah.
From there, we also got the Roundup barbecue baked potato that's
Ooh.
inspired by Toy Story. Now, I thought this was good. The burnt ends that are on it
Oh.
were definitely overcooked.
Oh.
So
No, they were burnt.
don't go there
Wow.
and expect to get these amazing burnt ends. But for being at a theme park,
Right.
it to me was better than getting something like a chicken strip, something greasy like that. It still was good to have, just not a whole lot of flavor and definitely overcooked.
Yeah, I was when I'd seen again, relying on the vlogs or whatever, that some people it's like hit or miss on that baked potato, but they said that the other one, the Papaloka, I believe it's
Oh,
called.
yes.
Did you try that one?
I did not try that
Oh,
one, but
okay.
I was debating getting between both of them. Now, my husband can't do gluten, and they did let me know that both of them had wheat in it, so I only got one.
Oh, okay.
What's the other one? Out of
It's
curiosity.
called Papaloka. I'm not sure the ingredient elements, but
No, I gotta look it up.
I can look it up. I'm sure. So,
I know that it's inspired by cocoa.
yeah.
Yeah, the Troubadour Tavern is one of those places that people don't ever go across because it's kind of like out of the way, right? And
It is.
If you were gonna go see, Mickey and the Magical Map, which isn't running anymore, or whatever, or actually anything from the Fantasyland Theater, then you would definitely run into that. But it's very seldom they just make it like a beeline to that.
Well, the reason why that they have that operational, sometimes they don't even have the Troubadour Tavern open.
Right.
The reason being is that's where they have or in the past they've had the Princess Fantasy Fair and other things, and it's just really kind of like an out of the way place that people don't go to.
Sure.
But I remember back in the day they used to have a Irish nachos at the Troubadour Tavern.
They
which
did?
was awesome.
Oh.
It was amazing, and I was like, why do you have that and then don't bring it back?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I just don't understand. Like why they just keep it closed and then open it periodically. But I guess it's just not a lot of people gravitate towards that area. I mean, Mickey and the Magical Map obviously was popular for a time, and I really love that show, and I'm just like, I don't understand why they took it away. But
I like
anyways,
that too.
yeah. So I'm looking online here. It says the Una Papa Loca. It's inspired by Coco. It's a chicken al pastor, cheese, avocado salsa, and sour cream topped with onion and cilantro, with a spiced corn chip crumble.
This is on a baked potato we're talking about?
Yep, and
Yeah.
that
Wow. Baked potato.
and that is the one I would have been all over. I literally just found it too. I'm like,
Wow, that actually sounds pretty good.
I've not read anyone who had, all the vlogs and all the blogs, the various food resources that I've read. Nobody said anything negative about it. So hopefully, maybe Uri can, head down before the end of Pixar Fest. But
right?
if not, then just have to hope they bring it back for the future.
Sure.
Definitely. And right now they do have a Pixar show going on at the theater. And
Right.
I thought that it was great for kids. I
Yes.
don't know that it'd be something as an adult I would go to just on my own.
Right.
But it was really cool how they had everything, because it's kind of going on all throughout the day instead of, there are specific times in which the show kind of begins, but you can filter in and out all day, which I like that aspect. And they had characters from The Incredibles, from Inside Out. They had Toy Story characters, and they're on stage dancing, and the kids can kind of go make a mosh pit, so to speak, in front of the stage and dance with them. And they have all sorts of different objects from Pixar movies that you can take pictures in front of. They have different characters out there, and then the characters come out and dance with the kids as well. So they had a time where the Toy Story characters come out, and it's Jessie, Woody, and Bo Peep dance with the characters. Then they leave the stage, and the next set of characters come out from Inside Out. They leave. Then you have The Incredibles. And so I felt like kids were really enjoying that. My daughter really liked it as well.
It looked like a great place for a meet and greet with a variety of characters.
Definitely.
From all the videos I've seen, we didn't venture to that area myself, my wife and I, but I noticed that they did pay homage to a lot of the properties, the IP from Pixar. As far as like Bug's Life, they got I guess the watermelon or something, or I don't know. I saw that, and then Doug, I guess, was there, but the Doug at DCA talks, whereas the Doug at that area in the Fantasyland Theater area does not talk. So I kind of found that kind of interesting. But he was popular regardless of wherever he was at. It just seemed like there's like a long old line, which is great, because Doug is you guys see my popcorn bucket in our little video stream here.
Oh yeah.
And my he actually talks. I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
No.
No, I did not. That's
Yeah,
cool.
let's see.
Oh, let's see.
Uh-oh.
Hi there, my name is Doug. I have just met you, and I love you.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it. Oh my lord.
Yeah,
I love
a great
Doug.
one.
I love Doug.
What's funny is that it's only for magic key holders, and it seemed like they were everywhere, available everywhere. They even sold it at Alien Pizza Planet, which was kind of weird. But instead of popcorn, they sold you breadsticks with it.
Oh,
So,
that's
Nice.
kind of a cool concept.
yeah. So I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, why? What? Like, I saw a bunch of them in a bin, behind the servers, and I was like, wait a second, what? There's no popcorn here. And then I was like looking at the menu, and they're like, oh yeah, we serve it with breadsticks. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Nobody puts popcorn in the popcorn bucket. anyways.
No.
No.
Not at all.
Super rare. Super rare that they do.
So, where else did you get a chance to eat at, Becky?
So we also ate at the Plaza Inn. We did the character breakfast, and
Awesome.
they did a Mother's Day brunch, and
Ah.
we were very pleased. We really liked the Plaza Inn. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it for the breakfast, but we've always had such a good experience. The food's been good, very fresh.
Mhm.
A ton of food. Once we eat there, it's hard to eat throughout the day just because there's
Right.
a lot.
Is it
Yeah,
all you
there-
can eat there for breakfast?
Yeah,
it's all
it's
you
a
can
buffet.
eat. It's
Oh.
a buffet. And then since it was Mother's Day brunch, it was a bit pricey. It was, I think, $80 a person, an
Ooh.
adult. So it was pricey, but
Yeah.
they did have a steak, which I couldn't tell you what kind it was. It did taste good though. And then they had fresh turkey breasts and some different items for Mother's Day.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've only gone there for lunch and dinner.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, because it just, I don't know, it's like the character meet and greet, it's Minnie Mouse themed,
It
and
is.
we're not really kind of like, we're not into the character meet and greets as much. Like DCA, or actually I should say the Grand California Hotel has Storytellers Cafe, and they have like a meet and greet, but it's a little more subtle. I mean, they got Chip and Dale, and they got, the other characters that are sort of like forest oriented, but they're not like as they don't come around to you as much, and they're not kind of in your face as much. It's like some of the other character meet and greets, and the quality of the food is amazing.
I heard that about Storytellers. I would really like to try it next time.
Yeah, and then one day I want to do the Minnie Mouse buffet there at the Plaza Inn. So we'll see if we can make arrangements for that sometime in the future.
Yeah, definitely. And with kids, it's great because you do get a lot of character interactions and they really take time with you. And even while we're sitting there having breakfast, I mean, Marie from Aristocats came by probably 3 times.
Oh, wow.
And, dancing with the girls, really giving a lot of attention. And so I think if you have kids and that's kind of your focus, or even if you're an adult teen who wants to have character interactions, it is a great place. And I have noticed that they do filter the characters. So when I've gone before, Chip and Dell have been there. This time they did not have Chip and Dell, but they had Clarabelle. There they had Marie, which I hadn't seen before from Aristocats. So they do kind of rotate in different characters, which I think is pretty cool as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, so like I don't have a child yet, or we're working on the situation.
There you go, Jay.
When I do, I am definitely gonna look into that. Right now, in all honesty, like the way I approach food is that I eat it, I think about it, I analyze it. My head kind of like goes in like analyze, like looks at the various aspects of it, contrast, the flavor contrast, the texture, flavor elements, et cetera. And so like when I'm doing that, I don't want anybody to talk to me or like, come up to my face, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
That
And
makes
it's just
sense.
like, and so that's why I'm not as motivated to go to the meet and greet, dining events and stuff like that, because it's just like I want to eat in peace, and therefore I can kind of analyze the ingredients and provide feedback for people that that are interested in that particular restaurant or whatever. So
Oh, for sure.
I was trying to think of the name of the place. Oh, Tusker House. That's what was. I was like going through my mind. Where did we eat at
It's Animal Kingdom, yeah.
Animal Kingdom at
Yeah.
Disney World? And like, I didn't realize there's going to be so many characters that came around and like wanted to give you photo opportunities and that type of thing. But
Yeah.
then, so my wife took pictures with them, but I'm just like, okay, leave me alone. Yeah, okay, just go away, because it's just like it's African food, right? And or it's kind of like Middle Eastern African food, that type of thing. And so it's just like those dishes are a bit more complex than your average American fare. So I try to wrap my head around all the various elements of the food that I'm eating, and and so like when Mickey Mouse is coming on face, I'm just like, hey, how you doing? Okay, bye bye. So.
Definitely, it's a lot of stimulation, and that is a good point, because having kids, and as a mom, I'm up there getting everybody's breakfast, then you're finally sitting down about to take a bite, and
Right.
here's Tigger in your face. I need to take a picture. But it is fun with kids.
Nice.
Yeah, I was going to ask how your kids handle the character interactions. It looked
Okay.
fine from your post.
Yes, so the littlest one surprised us. She loved them. I mean, from a distance, was waving, blowing kisses, wanting to dance with them, wanting to kiss them, like blowing kisses from far away. It was just, she was like loving all of it.
Oh, cool.
My older one, who is actually the extrovert of the family and normally not very shy at all, was super hesitant with all of them. She kind of just liked them from a distance, but did not want them in her face at all.
Really? Huh?
Wow.
Well,
Yeah, it was kind of funny. She didn't cry though, like she did last time. This was just more like, okay, I see you. You don't need to give me a hug. You don't need to give me a high five.
oh man, that is too funny. That's too funny.
It was funny, but yeah, overall, I feel like they handled it well.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was fun. And the first day, my oldest one was dressed up like Mary Poppins,
Mm-hmm.
and she was probably the only Mary Poppins in the park that day.
Oh.
At least it felt like that for a
Yeah.
little kid, because
But-
there's so many princesses everywhere.
But how good is that to go to Mary Poppins? Who does that?
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever. I don't think I've ever seen a kid in Mary Poppins.
No.
Not that I can think of.
Probably not that often. And so many people stopped us. So many cast members came up and would say, "Oh, a Mary Poppins," or "We love you, Mary," and
Yeah.
different things to her. And it was really sweet. And another cast member came up to us and he started telling us that Dick Van Dyke had come on his birthday and was dancing in front of the Jolly Holiday and
Ah,
just
cool.
pointing out
Yeah.
various things. And I just thought that it I don't know, it just felt like such a great experience. And I was telling my husband, it was the first time for us going since the pandemic where I just forgot that ever happened.
Yeah, good, good,
Hmm.
Good. Excellent.
awesome. No, and so the question is, Mary Poppins, you choose that or did she?
Okay, so actually she did. I had a Belle dress for her
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
and a Cinderella dress, and somehow she gravitated to Mary Poppins, which I do love it as well. But just on her own, she had gravitated to that at one time, and so she was Mary Poppins for Halloween, and so she had been wanting to wear that costume a lot at home. So my husband said, "Bring it, and we'll see." And then that's what she picked out.
Cool.
Okay.
Very cool.
Cool. All right. So where else did you eat, or was that it for the special treats?
Yeah, that was basically it.
Yeah, I knew you had a really short trip. It was
We
abbreviated.
did. It
Yeah.
was a really fast trip, and with having that breakfast and eating so much, it's hard to eat throughout the day. I
Sure.
wanted to have popcorn; it smelled so good, but I never got around to having it. I did bring an apple home, a candy apple that was shaped like the aliens from Toy Story.
Oh,
It
cool.
was great
Awesome.
to enjoy at home.
I had a
with
question for you guys, actually. Speaking of the candy apple, does it seem kind of strange to you that they make so many apples at all the different, like
Mhm.
Marceline's at the downtown,
Downtown, yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
DCA and
Yep.
and all the other candy palaces, like. like, do they really sell that many candy apples? I've never seen people either eat them or carry them around. So I'm just like so like perplexed. Like, are they really selling that many candy apples? It's kind of weird.
You
Yeah.
know, it's kind of funny you say that because I do get one every time to take home. That's kind of a staple. And I brought one home for my mom. And one of our family friends was at the park during the week. And she was sending my mom pictures. And so my mom sent her a picture of eating the apple. And I mean, this is someone who goes to Disneyland a few times a year. They love it. Like, we all love it. And she had never even seen them.
Oh.
Like, I
Weird.
had never thought to get it. And I thought that was so strange.
No,
Yeah.
I will
But
tell
I
you.
don't know that they're as popular as.
Well,
uh,
I will tell you that I think I see at least one kid eating one every trip.
Really?
Yeah. Like
I've
just sitting
actually,
there.
I've never seen.
Oh, really? Yeah,
anyone-
no,
No.
I can vividly picture the last one was a little kid. He was probably about 8, if I have to say. Yeah, 8. And he was wearing like blue, I think. And then because the reason I remember is because it reminded me of my nephew. And he had like the caramel, whatever it was, just all over his face. And he had like eating, and he was doing the whole sideways thing, you know, trying to get his mouth around it to bite into it. And I thought it was
Oh,
hilarious.
they don't break it up for you. They just give it to you on a stick.
Yeah. No, well,
They
that's
give it on a stick, but they
Yeah.
will cut it for you.
Yeah,
I
he-
can't eat it on a stick.
No.
He was just doing the full like biting into it and just like enjoying.
That's
the heck
awesome.
Out of the thing,
That's
yeah.
what a kid should be doing, man.
Yeah.
I'd be impressed somebody that can take down an apple like that, biting it freehand. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Oh yeah.
those things are like the candy coating is very thick.
Yeah.
If there's nuts on stuff like that, I mean, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
when you bite into it, all the nuts are going to fall off as you take
Yeah.
each bite.
Yeah. It was.
That's why I'm just
yeah.
saying. Yeah.
No.
I've had a few over the years. My mother-in-law has eaten them as well, and I mean, they're good. It
Mhm.
I just can't see. Because I go through frequently, I only get them, every few years or whatever. Because
Yeah.
I know they're always going to be available. Because I know every time I walk by the window, they're making them.
Oh yeah.
They're never going to run out, seemingly.
And they're not my thing. They're really not. They haven't been my thing probably ever. I've never been one of the guys who've been like, ooh, candy apple.
Nah.
Ever.
My daughters like them, and then we'll get them when we're in Tahoe, but we'll never get them
Oh yeah.
at the park. But I mean, I'll have a wedge if they have, but
Yeah.
it's not my thing.
No, not my thing
Well,
either.
they are quality apples, man. I give them whoever their source is, it's definitely high quality and very tasty. And I like tartness in contrast with the caramel sweetness. And if you get the nuts and stuff like that, I just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy them. It just can't. I just because it's so readily available, I always kind of take it for granted. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'll just get it next time. And
Sure,
I'll get it
yeah.
next time.
Mhm,
Blah blah blah.
mhm.
So.
For sure.
Right.
So anyhow, do you guys want to talk more food, or let's go to other elements, or what do you want to do?
Let's talk about some food that you had here that did not cross over with Becky's.
Yeah.
We're looking at your.
because I have questions.
So
So
okay.
you have the link to my photos. So
Yep.
you see the pickle juice there,
Yep.
Yeah.
pickle lemonade or whatever, and then the following picture is the cheeseburger pizza. Have
I
you
want
guys
to
ever
hear
had that?
about that.
Okay, so basically they've had this in the past a few
They have.
times.
They have.
And the reason why we get it is because we love it. Some people don't like it, but I don't know if they fully comprehend the complexity of this dish as much as they should. This is basically a deconstructed Big Mac in pizza form,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that they combine all the elements, it's fantastic. I'm not a big beef hamburger eater or whatever like that, but every once in a while, bring back some childhood nostalgia, so I'll get that Big Mac every few years or whatever. But this one is in vein of the Big Mac. It's got that special sauce. There's no lettuce, which is thankful, because on a pizza it's not good.
True fact.
Right.
And then,
Mhm.
right, but they do have the tomato, which is sort of like a nice way to sort of break up and pretend that it's break up the other elements that are kind of heavy, and this one pretends that it's healthy. So because of the tomato,
Sure.
But other
Yeah,
than
yeah.
that, I mean, you got the pickle, the cheese, the the crust that has the sesame seeds on it,
Yeah, I see that.
and it all works together. And the thing is that we've had, like, the first time we tried it, it was absolute perfection. The second time we had it, it was cold, so it wasn't that good.
Oh.
This time we got it, and then we brought it home, and then I heated it up in the toaster oven, and so it was hot again. And then, in fact, the crust even more, and it made it perfect again. So
Nice.
if you get one that's undercooked, I would say, just take it home and then reheat it in the toaster oven and get it crispy, because that's the element that makes it special, is that crust.
Oh, yeah.
I am really impressed that it has the sesame seeds.
Yes.
That
It-
really impresses me.
It provides that nuttiness that you get from a Big Mac bun,
Mhm.
the top
Right.
bun, right? And
Right.
that's the thing that puts it over the top, or one of the elements that puts it over the top. So if you guys ever see it, try it. Hopefully you guys get a good one. Like I said, the
Yeah.
second one we had
Yeah.
wasn't so great. This one was good. The only complaint I would say that I'd have is that the crust, the end piece is kind of like, there's a lot of they don't take the ingredients out to the edge as much as they should, so it's kind of doughy, kind of bread, like bread filled at the end. So that's the only minor complaint, but otherwise, I mean, the rest of the pizza is pretty great. So
It looks like, too, for the ground beef, do they just make like little patties?
Yeah,
to
that's
put
what it looks
across
like.
it?
Yeah.
what I think they do is they cook up hamburger patties, and then they just like break them up by hand, or like, I don't know
Okay.
if they have a machine or whatever, that kind of thing. But it's not like ground beef that's kind of like stir fried, into like small balls of chunks or
Got
whatever.
ya.
These are actual patties that have been broken up. So
Okay.
it when you bite into it, it is definitely reminiscent of a regular burger. It's not like ground beef, and then pretending to be hamburger. This is
Right, right.
actually hamburger that's been, broken apart. So you get that that visual element, and then you also get the taste element as well, because the beef is formed together and like is continuous, not little balls of beef.
Just quick question for both of you. Prior to going to Pixar Fest, did you do research as like, oh, they're going to have this here and this over here and this here, and you kind of make mental notes or even physical notes of like, oh, we have to make sure we try this? Or did you guys just walk in and let the Disneyland winds take you wherever you went and found something?
I think I know Jay's answer.
Well, yeah, I'm a planner, man.
Okay.
The reason why is, again, because I buy so much food, I have to be strategic, right?
Yes.
Makes sense.
If somebody else paid for it, I'll try everything. Just like put it in front of my face, and I'll take it down. You know what I mean? That's my honest analysis of it. And but the thing is that if I'm spending the money, then I have to be judicious about my budget and
Yes.
also my stomach space. So, because if somebody else is paying for it, yeah, I'll take a couple bites, and then if I don't like it, boom, goes into the trash bin. Or if it's good, then I'll take a couple bites and take it home. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if I'm paying for it, and then I need to manage, like, what can I eat that day versus what I can take home. Because some things, especially like with dairy or like colder items, like ice cream or whatever, that kind of thing, you cannot take that home. You have to eat it there at the park.
Sure.
So therefore, you have to manage, like what you're going to have, to eat, and how much stomach space you're going to have available for the other dishes that you're buying. What is acceptable? Like, let's say something has sour cream on it, right? And then I get it for lunch. I'm going to scrape off the sour cream. I'll put it in the locker or whatever, and then later on I could add my own sour cream,
Right.
when I reheat it, that kind of thing. So you have to plan it, because I mean, for a foodie, it just, you want to maximize your enjoyment, and that's part of the process, is that you have to plan exactly what you're going to get, when you're going to get it, and that type of thing.
Sure. Okay.
And now I will say that I basically walked in there and let the winds take me wherever they could, because I had plans. And when we got to the hotel at 12:30 a.m., and my children didn't want to go to sleep and stayed up till 4 a.m.,
No.
I realized and was very humbled that I can have no plans with these kids.
Sure.
It just had to be wherever Disney took me that day,
Okay. Gotcha.
which
Yeah,
is
no,
very
but that's
humbling.
always, sometimes you got to have those days. You know what I mean? Like, me
You do.
too. Sometimes it's like plans change. Maybe they don't, they sell out of an item and whatever, that kind of thing. So you have to be adaptable, and sometimes the spontaneity and kind of the impulse of when you're impulsive and stuff like that, and just like, hey, you know what, I'm going to try that, even though I didn't plan to try it. Then boom, just do it. And
Yep.
that's always
Right.
fun too.
And also, if I was going for an extended period of time, I think I would be maybe a little more strategic at that point as well, just because you have the time to do so.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. Good thing is I have like one thing that I ever do, so I'm good with it.
Well, I didn't want to bring that up to Udi.
Yeah.
And I did want to tell you this, but I don't think that thing's even available anymore.
What?
What the thing that you do, the one Udi thing that you do at the
No,
park.
no. Now I gotta look it up.
You gotta look it up.
Oh, I thought you were going to say rancho.
I am.
I am.
Oh, you are?
No, but
But it's-
my go-to
Specific
menu
item.
item. Okay, so now I'm with you saying that I'm hearkening back to our last episode with Philander. And what did he say about food? Never fall in love because they'll break your heart.
They will, yeah.
Because they'll take it away. Oh, don't
Yeah,
even.
listen to the last episode. He talked about the pasta dish at Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta.
Yep.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
5 cheese, something rigatoni or something along those lines. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it's
no,
it's just
It's
you
gone,
can bet
dude.
on,
No, it's not.
on churros, candy apples, and pretzels. That's it. So
No,
I
Udi.
will say that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's Udi's. He gets the enchilada plate at Rancho, and that thing is not on the for the first time in probably 10 years. That thing is not on the menu.
wow.
And I don't know if it's a temporary thing or they just trying to do like a menu change for now, but they've replaced it with a couple other things, and
I'm looking right now.
dude, it
So,
isn't there. Okay,
yeah,
go.
I think that Woody needs to change it up for his next trip. And spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about Centrico. Because
Okay,
I think
okay,
he's
okay.
going to like that, even though it's a bit more expensive,
Oh,
but the quality level is amazing. And so I would say that he needs to kind of maybe rethink his dining strategy for the next time he goes, because I think that Centrica needs to be on his list for sure, 100%.
I keep it pretty easy. For booze, I go there, and
Yeah.
for food, I go there. There
Yep.
are two places that I go. It's pretty easy.
yeah.
For coffee, I go there.
Yep. No, he's right.
I keep it pretty easy. No, I'm not trying to diminish any other great food because I look at these, I'm like, man, these are amazing. But man,
So
Well,
hold on.
The good thing about Centrico is I think it'll satisfy every element, every facet.
Okay,
so
okay.
therefore, you can spend more time on the attractions.
Are we going to downtown Disney now, or are we still in Disneyland? We're talking about.
Oh no, we're still in Disneyland. So
okay.
just kind of want to comment briefly. Alien Pizza Planet.
Okay.
They have the green alien macaron. This
Oh, yeah,
one
yeah.
they bring back again. This is sort of a repeat, and but it's a excellent dish. The thing that's sort of quirky about this is that you cannot order it online. You can't do mobile order. You have to actually order it in person. And but it's a macaron that's has salted caramel, buttercream, chocolate ganache, and brownie bits.
Okay.
It's good. I mean, it's like I've yet to have like a really bad macaron at Disneyland. They seem to, one thing they haven't messed up on. Some other things they do mess up on pretty badly, but this one definitely not. So yeah, I would say that if you're inclined to have a sweet treat that's not too sweet, then this is something that you should check out.
Now, with this, my parents are going in about a month or so. Is
Mhm.
this something that I could say, can you bring me it home? And
Yes.
it would, okay,
Yes,
it would be good.
it will hold up because it's a buttercream, not whipped cream.
Okay.
Right.
And-
So
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about the dairy element, that kind of thing.
Having never had this before or any sort of macaron, are these served cold or like room
No,
temperature?
room temperature.
Okay. Okay.
It's very cute.
Yeah, it looks
It is.
enticing. So
It's again, it's pretty popular, but people don't know about it who just try to do mobile ordering only, and so that's why hopefully if your listeners don't know, now you know.
now you know, and no one's half the battle.
Exactly.
We got Mount Udi just erupted over here
Oh man.
because his
I need a minute.
his enchilada plate is not on the menu anymore.
No.
Oh
no.
boy.
But Udi, relax a little bit. He's tearing things down here.
My
Think
iPad
about
better.
the positive though, because it's not there now. This is gonna force you to branch out and try something new.
Okay, see Becky, that isn't a positive.
Udi doesn't do that.
I don't do that.
Udi doesn't branch out. But they've got that burrito Sonora. That was
No,
just
that looks really good.
yeah, there's a lot of options there. And anyways, we're gonna get to Centrico after
Yeah, no,
in
no.
a minute.
No, let's talk about Centrico now, man. I
Okay.
need to make Udi feel better.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't want him to be all like bummed, depressed. And,
I'm like
fuming and fuming
I'm really
that,
gonna grab
but
another.
his
I'm gonna go grab
favorite
another.
dish is gone.
But Jay, can I ask you? And I'm glad we're talking about this because
Oh man.
one of the things that I mentioned, like I don't know, 6-8 months ago, was that with the advent of Tortilla Joe's closing at that point, I go, man. I always felt that Tortilla Joe's was a reasonably priced place for a family to go. And I go, what I do not think we need as Disneyland fans is a place where we got to get $25 enchiladas. Well, here we are at Paseo, which looks great, but they've got a $26 enchilada plate, dude. In no world should enchiladas be $26. I don't care who's making them. I mean, you're talking about $14 maybe for enchiladas, dude. Right?
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not my jam. And I mean, yeah,
Okay,
it
no.
looks great. Like, like Paseo looks wonderful, but I mean, anyways, that's what I got to rant about. It's like, dude, I don't think this is what we need.
Right. Well, so you know me, man. I mean,
yes.
we were talking about the pool bar, pool restaurant. What was it called? The one over at Disneyland Hotel with the new. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
can't think of-
Palm Breeze or something?
Yeah, Palm Breeze.
Yep.
And I totally ranted about the steak salad and
Yes.
so forth.
Yes.
And the reason why I ranted is because I know if anybody who's a chef at Disneyland, I apologize in advance, but the quality level of your ingredients, the quality level and skill set is not a match for this restaurant, Centrico.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that I'm willing to pay for quality.
Sure.
So if it's a I mean, I know a lot of chef names, but I don't think they're gonna recollect. That it's gonna ring a bell in your minds. But let's say a Bobby Flay or whatever. And
Okay.
like, even though I'm not a fan of Bobby Flay, but regardless, if you like have a Michelin starred chef who creates a dish and wants to charge that amount of money for a steak salad, I'm okay with that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
But the chefs at Disneyland who are employed by Disneyland Resort are not at that level, not even close.
Okay.
And that's the thing, is that dishes that are made by Michelin starred chefs are on a different plane than what you can get at the normal resort restaurant.
Yep.
So that's the reason why that, yes, it does seem expensive, but at the same time, for the quality of the ingredients, the attention to detail, the amount of pleasure that you derive from the dish,
Mhm.
it's totally worth that extra money. So
For sure.
yeah, maybe it's $8, $10 more than you'll get at Rancho del Zocalo, but I tell you what, your taste buds are going to thank you for that $8 to $10 premium charge.
Okay, Jay,
So-
you've talked me off my ledge. Okay. No, you're right, Jay. You're
I do get what you're saying.
No, and thank you, Jay, because I would have to deal with this for another hour or two. So I appreciate that.
yeah. No, Jay, you're definitely right, and you bring a really good point. I just, what I'm saying is that it was Tortilla Joe's always hit the spot for us as a family.
Sure.
Just like the price point and like the food was great, and but people will say, "Oh, I can go like 2 miles down the road and get better Mexican food." Yeah, you probably could, but you're talking about staying within downtown Disney and dealing with
Right.
that. So
Yeah.
okay.
So Rancho, okay. So I'll put it this way: a Brancho is not going to go away. And, you know, man, I'm sure
Oh yeah, no.
if there's enough demand, you know what I mean, for the enchilada or whatever, they'll bring it back. And then if you're budget conscious, you know, I understand, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But, like, if you're looking for a dining experience versus just porking down food to, you know, sustain the calories for the day,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Then, choose wherever you want, you know, bring your own bread and bologna and make sandwiches in the picnic area. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen that.
Old school.
I've seen people bring, the
Done it.
sushi rolls from the grocery store. You know what
Yep.
I mean? So,
Done it. Yep.
you know, do what you want to do. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying that for me, again, you know, Disneyland is a sensory experience, and it's like, you know, are you gonna walk around Disneyland and put your fingers in your ears and not listen to music? No, of course not, because
No.
you know, you want to experience the sound. And then, are you gonna close your nose, pinch your nose when you go out on Pirates of the Caribbean because it's a little bit of a funky water? No, because you want to smell that water because it's going to remember, you know, be an experience that you're going to remember, you know, for the, you know, forever, you know what I mean, for your entire life, because it has such a unique, funky smell. It's not the best smell, but hey, it is unique, and it's, you know, something that you're going to remind yourself. And so when you have these elevated dishes, again, you're eating at the Disneyland Resort, and then when you go to another fine dining experience, you're like, oh, I remember having something like this at Citrica or whatever, or you know, whatever the other, you know, rest in peace, Steakhouse 55, you know, that kind of thing. So,
ooh, yes, that's a whole other issue.
You just want to make sure that, you know, you maximize your experience, and if you have the available funds, then I'd say you should go for it. You know what I mean? Because you only live once, man.
That's
you
true.
know? So
that's true.
But yeah. So that's my take on it. So
all right,
you know, I you know, like, other people have different viewpoints, and hey, more power to you. And
no, you're
and
right.
Cool.
No,
but you know, I just my perspective is just like, I want to maximize like every facet of, you know, my time at Disneyland.
Okay, I'm Joey. Yeah, I
agree.
No, I totally agree, G. I just was kind of ranting a little bit.
Oh no, that's cool.
I agree with that, and I think that something we've talked about before, or the last show with Philander, is sometimes you may have to change your Disney experience just depending on financially what you can have at certain times.
Sure.
So I think that there are times, I know as a family, you can go to the park, and maybe what you can do is you have to bring in a meal a day so that you're able to afford to go to the park. Like, I think that there's a balance of, like Jay's talking about, that there are times you're also on vacation and you want to splurge, you want to enjoy the experience because it's part of the experience versus getting through the day.
Yep. Well said.
Yeah, I mean,
you can have both.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could be miserly and just, you know, again, get the bologna sandwiches handmade, you know, by yourself, and you know, and then, you know, you can spend money on other things, but it's just like, really, then, you know, you're not enjoying the full experience, in my opinion. But, you know, again, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But on to Centrico.
Yeah, let's take a look at
this. Say right now, man, I
okay.
Man, I didn't realize how much better this restaurant could be than Uva Bar. I thought that it was going to be in the same vein of Uva Bar, and which Uva Bar was kind of like generic, even though it's supposed to be Mediterranean in style as far as their cuisine is concerned.
Yeah.
It's just like the whole area, the seating area, and the atmosphere was kind of like very, you know, it's an outdoor bar. So what, you know? This one, it's just like, it is themed. It's
elevated.
It's elevated. It's immersive. Not like, you know, like fully immersive, because, you know, you got people walking around you and all that stuff, and so it's a little distracting in that manner. But regardless, I mean, the theming of the restaurant is on point. I really appreciated all the details that they put into it. In fact, next month we're going to Paseo, which is the restaurant that was formerly known as Catal.
Yes.
And it's similarly decorated, very kind of like earthy tones, very like it like has a really authentic feel to it. And it's amazing, like, how they were able to elevate, you know, the previous bar experience from Uva.
Yeah.
So anyhow, and that includes the food. So
okay,
we'll just start off with some of the drinks here. So we'll go with the mocktail that my wife got. It's the frozen mango nip mangonada. which is the mango puree, the lime juice, chamoy, and mango, like fresh cut mango or whatever. And they did that in like sort of like a, what do you call it? Like a freeze, like a
Slushy or something.
puree, like a slushy,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. Thank you. And it was really good. It was a sweet, touch of salt, fruity, a little spicy from the little tahine rim there.
Oh, that's
And,
tahini?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. And
Oh.
That was good.
it is actually quite good. And for I think for $4 or $5 more, you can get a shot of tequila or mezcal, and so you
Mezcal
can
would
make
be
it even
good.
better.
Yeah.
Or in my opinion,
It
I
looks
agree. I
I'm
agree.
not a mocktail guy, so like
Yeah.
my wife.
It looks
would be like,
refreshing,
let's
for
go to
sure.
this. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe put a little tequila in there.
Yeah, throw a little something in there would be better.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I feel like
the
I.
presentation's really.
Oh no, it is.
it's really pretty,
It
too.
is. No, and I'm thinking like you need to have the tahini to incorporate with it all. I feel like if you don't have it, it may be too much. Just looking at it.
No, you're 100% right,
Yeah.
because the salty element of the tahini helps bind the salty and the sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the lime juice provides just that touch of brightness to it, the acidity, that citrusy note, and it really is quite good. It is on the expensive side, $14, but
Yeah.
that's pretty much the prevailing rate for mocktails nowadays,
Now.
seemingly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that I got next, this is for Uri, the
Thank you.
old fashioned.
Thank you. I'm looking
So
at it right
this
now.
one they call it the ancient old fashioned,
Mhm.
and I guess what sort of distinguishes this from the standard old fashioned is that it has the Mexican, all these Mexican liqueurs and liquors
Yep,
and
yep.
stuff like that. So I'm not familiar, honestly, with these name brands, but it's Abasolo whiskey, the Ancho Reyes liqueur, Nishta liqueur de elote, Angostura orange bitters, and the Angostura
Bitters. Yep.
Right.
Wow. How was it?
It was good. It was
Okay.
probably, I'd say, the second best old fashioned I've ever had.
Okay, good, because I'm gonna tell you, because but was it you that was explaining to Mark about bitter? I was,
Yeah.
because we went out one night and we're having, and I ordered an old fashioned. It was okay, and then I was kind of like, yeah, it's okay. And then he was like, well, what's wrong with it? And I was explaining him the bitters and how you have to be careful with them because of how you can overpower the drink really easily.
Sure. Yeah.
Really simple. Really an
Well,
easy
this
drink.
one, the orange bitters really work well. And in fact, it is a touch on the sweet side from your standard old
Okay,
fashioned.
and I'm okay with that because I'd prefer that it go that way than the other. And so that I see the orange bitters, I'm like, okay, that's how they're getting that little bit of the citrus in there kind of cut through everything. Because that,
Right.
yeah, if you don't have, like I said, like I was telling Mark, it's a super easy drink to make, but it's also a super easy drink to mess up. It really is. It's easy to mess this one up. So it looks amazing. I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm
like the
glad.
orange pill too.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That looks so
Yep.
pretty.
Yep.
You would get that.
Yeah,
I would-
that little
I
bit
would-
of zest right there. I mean, it really helps it
Yeah.
bring in that sort of citrusy vibe,
Yeah,
but
mhm.
not in a like a negative way. You know what I mean? It kind of complemented the whiskey and all
Yeah.
the other ingredients. And this one,
I'd order two.
man, I tell you what, if it wasn't $18 a pop, I'd be like drinking these all day long.
Oh,
It
no,
went out
and
smooth.
that's exactly what I just told Mark. I'd order two. Like I don't care. I'm like, give me
Right.
another. Like I drink it. I'm like 18. What? Okay, bring another. And
Oh, yeah,
maybe
no,
even
I
a
mean,
third. Yep.
Definitely, it's got to put it on the must try list when the next time you go.
Oh, I'm all over that.
Um,
Like it wouldn't even
yeah,
be a question.
yeah,
I'd see it on the menu. Drop the menu. Said one of those.
There is a definite vibe about this Central Code that I'm picking up on.
Oh, I know. I'm
And I
loving
love
it.
it.
Right.
I'm loving it. It is way better than Uber Bar. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at the photos you sent, I'm like, wow.
I'm stoked. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the only thing I would change about this drink is that instead of putting ice cubes, I would say they
Yep.
need the ice sphere,
Yep.
because the ice tended to melt
Too
sort of
quickly, yep.
It wasn't even that hot of a day, but because the other ingredients, it kind of
Yep.
like melts the ice in a
Yep.
more quickly than I would like, and so therefore it waters down the taste. But other than that, I mean, it was like I said, excellent.
Mhm.
The best one I had was actually pretty recently at Disney World at the Disney Springs, the Jock Lindsay's bar.
Oh yeah.
And the old fashioned over there, I tell you what, man. I mean, I don't want to go into to my Disneyland trip here, report here, but I mean Disney World trip report. But that old fashioned, I did not realize what a real old fashioned should taste like until I had that old fashioned.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and it was made by it was a special whiskey that's made by Knob Creek, and it's only made for Disneyland Resort.
Okay.
Disney World, Disney, like the Disney theme parks.
Really?
Because I was like, you know, I looked at, I tasted it, and I told the bartender, I was like, man, this is amazing. He was like, yeah. He said, and it's made with a special whiskey, and I was like, really? I was like, he's like, here, and he showed me the bottle. I showed you guys pictures. I gave you the links and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it is saying that this particular whiskey is specially made for the Disney parks
Oh.
and only made for them.
Wow.
Wow.
And it's a higher proof alcohol, but it didn't even taste like that, you know. And in fact, it tasted like dangerously less than
Is
the
it like-
amount of alcohol that it's supposed to be. You know, it didn't punch you in the mouth like a normal
Yeah.
old fashioned. And that's sort of like this one. I don't know what the proof is of the Agua Solo whiskey, but
Right.
you know, it definitely did go down smooth. And yeah.
What was the proof of the other one? Was it like an 80 or 90 proof?
The one from Disney World, I'd have to look through the pictures. I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was 96 proof.
Beautiful.
Oh.
So yeah, but it didn't even taste like it. Tasted
That's
like
my wheelhouse. You give me 90 or 90 to 100, I'm like, ho, 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 there we go. I love that. Yeah,
but it
yeah.
didn't even taste like that, man. I mean, it didn't have that burn like the higher proof alcohol
Yeah.
normally has.
Well, no, and you know, it's funny. The best I've ever had literally was from a bartender that I know she doesn't work there. Is a little small restaurant here in Roseville, and it was amazing. I am like another. I'm like, holy crap! Like, keep them coming because these are amazing. I had like 3 or maybe 4. I don't remember. I'll put it to you that way.
Not to go on a tangent or anything, Udi, but you need to go to Disney Springs, and
I know.
that is a game changing. Just holy cow! I can't overstate how awesome that whole place is.
I know I'm in the minority currently with that. I know.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
All right.
And then we're gonna go to something that is seemingly mundane, which is the chips and salsa.
Oh, not mundane. I'm serious about this.
Mark is like, wait.
Remember when I spoke about tortillas in one of the earlier episodes that we'd done together, and I spoke about kind of did like a restaurant review, and I extolled the virtues of the tortilla chips at Tortilla Joe's.
I remember.
They're still the highest rated ones that I've had at a restaurant, so I'm not going to downplay them. But this one is really good. The sort of differentiation is that these chips are very robust. They are hearty.
look it.
I'm talking about, you could probably, I don't know, like put a lot of. I'm trying to think how many pounds you could maybe put on this thing before it snaps. But, you know, I wouldn't say pounds, but you know, like
Sure.
probably at least 4 ounces of ingredients before they think this thing snaps, because it is very hearty. They are flavorful. You could tell they're homemade. My only gripe was that they weren't warm.
Yeah.
The thing is that they, I saw them bringing out like a whole like restaurant tray full of them, and then they just kind of put them in a storage bin and serve it as is. Because so after, so when we had these chips, we didn't finish them all, but the server came by. She put her towel, like server towel or whatever, on top of the chips when she was trying to grab them, and my wife was like, "Oh no, we're taking those home." And so she's like, "Oh crap, okay, well, since you're taking them home and I touched them, you know, then basically I have to give you new chips." Well,
Oh.
when they brought out the new batch of chips, they were warm.
Oh.
So those were freshly made, whereas when we first sat down at the restaurant, they're just room temperature. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So that's the thing that I think that it would be a good thing if they had some kind of warmer to like really kind of accentuate the flavor profile of the corn, and that way, you know, people would be a lot more happier with these, because I've kind of heard like mixed reviews on them, and one of the things that we didn't get, which I was because I had read a lot of reviews before going here, is the guacamole is not that great.
Oh.
So there's no fresh made guacamole like that they had at Tortilla Joe's, where they had the cart that they brought around and they made it right there in front of you. This one, it's just already pre-made and just, they plop it down in front of you and just like you eat it, right? But there was a little bit of guacamole that came with my wife's, or one of my wife's dishes. I think what throws people off is it seems like there's like a red bell pepper in there. And it really kind of like messes up the flavor profile because your mind has a thought of what guacamole is. I mean, anybody who's ever had guacamole, you have like a certain way of looking, like your mouth is, your taste buds are looking forward to like a certain element, like a creamy texture, something salty, that kind of thing. And this one is not that good, which is kind of sad, because I'm hopeful that maybe they'll bring back the carts or they'll reformulate their
Right.
guacamole. So we'll see in the future. The salsa is good. It's actually a habanero salsa, and I know people think like habanero, they automatically think like hot. This one was not as hot. It had like the flavor element of habanero, but they emasculated the heat. So essentially you get that sort of flavor, fruity profile of the habanero, but you don't get the heat. So
gotcha.
they must devein it, remove all the seeds, and then mix it down with other ingredients to kind of, make sure that it's not as spicy and it's more approachable to the average consumer.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is, she's not really much of a chili head, so she liked it. She said there was a bit of a tingly sensation of heat, on a scale of 10, maybe like 2 at the most. So, even if you're like a mild eater, then, this would be fine with you.
That's definitely me.
Mhm.
I'm the mildest of. I mean, I cannot deal with spice at all.
Like, let it burn.
No.
Well, this one will help you sort of like take baby steps to becoming more
More of
you
a
go, Mark.
man,
There
more
you go, Mark.
of a real man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, the sort of like the recurring theme is that most of these dishes did have a little bit of heat, and so that's a thing. But it's not to the point where you're like, what I mean, like sucking in wind. You're just kind of like, you're like, oh, okay, well, let me take an extra drink of water here. You know what I mean? Because your mouth is warming up, and my wife, her nose got a little runny. So
Sure.
that's the thing that it's not to the point where you're crying or sweating or anything like that, but it's also not to the point you're just like it's just this is like borderline ketchup, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And looking at it, I was wondering about that because it looks more, how do I put it? More of a sauce than a salsa.
Like
Right.
very.
Yeah. And I always like, anytime I see a salsa and I see that, I kind of go like, I hope the flavor is good because I'm not a fan. I like it a little bit more chunky would be the way to put it. Like you know what I mean?
Robust.
Yeah, more robust. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got to use the
Politically
proper terms.
correct.
Yeah.
Have
Okay.
you guys ever had I believe there's a salsa out of San Francisco.
Pace?
I'm trying to, it's called papalote or something like that.
No.
No.
Elote?
No.
I don't think so.
No,
Okay.
I haven't.
Anyways, that one, I'll have to send you the link or whatever, but I think you guys would enjoy that one. It actually won. They did like a TV show, and the owners of the restaurant / salsa maker had gone up against Bobby Flay, and they won against him in head-to-head competition for
Oh,
salsa.
cool.
And anyways, but that's really good. It's unlike any standard salsa that you've had. It looks like a sauce, but it is salsa, obviously. It's not chunky. It's more creamy, thick, and that type of thing. But
okay.
I'll send you the link to that.
Yeah, cool.
Regardless, so that's sort of in the same vein as far as like it's not chunky. There's a few chunks in it, but it's not like like a full-on chunky salsa. It's more liquidy than chunky.
Right.
So The next dish that we had was the shrimp aguachile. This one is pretty amazing. I've had aguachile in the past, and this one is definitely elevated. I really enjoyed this a lot. There's a bit of heat, but it's not. Again, it's similar to the salsa that it's maybe like a 2 out of 10 scale.
Right.
Okay.
But like all the ingredients really work well together. I really like that charred tomatillo aguachile. So I don't know if I read the ingredients, but it's shrimp, a charred tomatillo aguachile, cucumber, red onion, avocado, and corn tortilla strips.
Mm-hmm.
So the charred tomatillo aguachile is what really elevates this thing. When I first saw it, I almost thought it was like squid ink,
Yeah.
which would provide like
Uh-huh.
that bitter element. But no, they were actually to achieve that through the char, and in fact, kind of add just a slight smoky note to it, and a little bit of bitterness, which was great because it contrasted with the lime flavor. And then the cucumber, I don't know what kind of cucumbers they use. I think they might be using like Persian cucumbers because they weren't like your standard like cucumbers that you get, in the grocery store. These ones were a little thicker, chunkier, hardier. I would say, like at first, I almost thought they were like nopales, which is cactus,
Yeah.
because they were that kind of thick and chunky. This thing worked. I mean, I of all the dishes, I'd say this one was my favorite personally. My wife liked some of the other things, and I'll mention that later on.
Yeah.
But
Jay,
anyways,
just real quick. I mean, and sorry for my juvenile questions because this is so
No, it's
far
okay.
beyond. Anything that I would ever. I mean, that I ever try. But I mean, is this cold or warm? This dish?
Cold.
Oh, cold. Okay, I could not. I go.
So it's kind of like a aguachile is kind of like a ceviche.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Okay. Cool.
essentially, the meat is not cooked by heat. It's actually cooked by the lime juice.
Oh.
Oh.
So the shrimp, it looks cooked, but actually when you start kind of trying to cut it open and that kind of thing, even though they are kind of butterflied open, but I mean because they're kind of big, thick shrimp, you still kind of have to cut it to bite-sized portions. And when you do so, you see that the shrimp is actually partially raw, and the reason why is that the lime juice has not cooked the fish all the way through.
Okay. I mean, this actually looks pretty interesting that I would, if someone was with me and they ordered it, my eyes would be on this going, okay, I want to try just a small bite of that because it looks pretty, I would never know to even order this, to be honest with you. But it looks really good.
It is something that I would say a lot of people will overlook because of the other dishes, but they shouldn't.
Okay.
And I know it is on the a touch on the expensive side at $19, but at the same time, I mean the quality of the shrimp and the other ingredients are amazing. I just this is one of those things that you're getting value in terms like the taste value in terms of the quality of the ingredients, right? Instead of
Sure.
quantity.
And is this categorized as an entree or is it like a starter?
Appetizer.
Oh, this is an appetizer.
Right.
Ah, okay.
Exactly.
So it's
so
okay.
technically you can it's meant to be shared
Mhm.
because you see there's 5 different shrimp.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
At the same time, I don't like when I see a menu. I'm just like, bro, I'm looking at this like what I want to eat when I want to eat it. Don't tell me what's a main dish, what's an appetizer. I'm just when it comes to ordering food off a menu, man, I color outside the lines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just do what I want when I want, and I know in my head. I remember one time I got really upset. We were in actually in San Francisco Bay Area, and we went to a Michelin star restaurant, and the guy who's the server, he was like, so I told him exactly what I wanted, right? And he was like, oh well, sir, may I suggest this? May I suggest that? I was like, look, man, you don't know who you're talking to.
No.
I'm just like, I know what I want when I want it, and I'll tell you the order I want it, and how I know my taste profile, and this is gonna happen. So, and then he kind of got a little perturbed, and then I got upset. And anyways, it was a big old incident. Regardless, it wound up that the supervisor, I mean, the head waiter, being the attending to our service instead of him. So, anyways, regardless,
Awesome.
here and there. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, so technically this is an appetizer, but you could have it as a main dish, and I'd say this would actually be a wonderful main dish. Main dishes don't have to be hot, right? And it
No.
can be cold, food. So
Yeah.
anyways,
Okay.
on to the next one. This one is the Cochinita Pibil tacos. This is the one that Carlos Gatan is famous for. I think this is sort of like one of the dishes that earned him a Michelin star. And this one was really good. It essentially is like sort of like a hybrid between like carnitas and I would say like a mole. Like it's like carnitas mixed with mole, right? Like a red mole. And it was really good. The pork was tender, chunky. It has a black bean puree at the bottom, so the wet ingredients don't permeate the
I can see
tortillas,
it now.
and then, so the tortillas don't fall apart. Again, it has the habanero salsa, the same as with the chips and salsa. That's the guacamole, as you can see in the pictures on the lower right corner there. You can see the red bell pepper there, which is problematic.
Problematic.
It is. I mean, honestly, I don't think red peppers belong in avocado.
Agreed.
I mean, in guacamole.
Agreed.
But now the homemade tortillas, I thought Tortilla Joe's was good. These are better, man. I mean, this is like these. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say probably 9 out of 10. Whereas Tortilla Joe's, I used to think they're like 8 out of 10, but like having these kind of bumps them down maybe to like 7 out of 10.
Gotcha.
Wow.
They're very robust. They're chewy. You can definitely taste like that. These things are really hearty. It has a nice corn flavor to them, and you can, like the way that they are pliable, you can tell they're freshly made. So that's the thing that really kind of made this wonderful. So the only reason why, so you'll see that later on, there's another main dish that we got, but the reason why we got another main dish, we didn't finish this one, is because unfortunately the pork had a bone in it. And it's not supposed to have bones in it.
Right.
So we finished like 1.5 tacos, and then we kind of were a little freaked out about the whole incident, because they don't just make like one batch of pork.
Yeah.
They make a whole bunch of it. So we were kind of worried that maybe later on we might run into another bone or whatever. But the manager was cool. He was like, man, don't worry about it. We'll replace it with something else. So I'll tell you about that later on. But otherwise, I'd say I wouldn't be afraid to order them again.
Okay.
Just, unfortunately, it was a bad day for the chef and or like whoever was preparing the meal,
Right.
Or putting the meat into the tacos, that kind of thing. Then
The onions on top of them look really good too.
yes, they're pickled onions, very bright. Honestly, they're not like, there's nothing special about them. I mean, they're kind of run-of-the-mill pickled red onion. I wish that they had like a distinguishing feature to them, but pretty much you go to any Mexican restaurant and that has pickled red onion, and you're just like, oh, that's the same, that kind of thing. So, but but it helps offset the richness of the pork along with the sauce. The mole really provided like a sweetness and like a umami sort of spicy, not like hot spicy, but like almost like cinnamon, clove, that kind of thing, just kind of like subtle hints of that. And I really was if you've never had it before, then it's very very intriguing to your palate. Like especially if you love mole, then this is right up your alley because this thing will satisfy your itch.
Nice, nice.
The next thing we got was technically an appetizer. This was the cochinita rillettes. It's basically the pork cochinita. What I'm thinking is that they, whatever pork that they have left over from the day before,
Yep,
and they just
totally,
let it stand
totally,
overnight and
Yeah.
put it in this form because it is a colder dish.
Yeah.
And what they do is they throw a little layer of duck fat on top, along with the it's a mango habanero gelée. So it has that. It's almost like similar to the salsa, where it's not really spicy, just more like that fruity
Flavor.
element of the habanero flavor.
Yeah.
But it's not the heat, and obviously the mango obviously provides a sweetness as well, and a fruitiness. And then the same pickled red onions, and then they call it on the side to put on that that little concoction. You put it on top of the what they call a masa madre bread. I mean, you can just get like a standard crostini in there.
Yeah,
It's the same,
that's what it looks like.
I
to
mean,
me.
it sounds sexy, but it's really just kind of a run of the mill crostini.
Okay.
$15 actually is pretty good value. I would say that this is nice to share. I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't get it again because it's sort of like something I could get at like any like a bar restaurant type place. So
Yeah.
it's nothing really special or unique in my opinion. So I'd say that I would recommend there's other things to try before you get to this one.
Yeah, looking at it, I'm like, I wouldn't even think to order that.
No.
It's not up my alley at all, but yeah.
The server also warned us in the beginning when we ordered it. She's like, okay, just to let you know that a roulette is room temperature, and I was like, oh yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, other people wouldn't know that
No.
because in their head, when you say there's braised pork cochinita, then they automatically think it's like a hot dish.
Exactly.
But they should also take into consideration there's duck fat, and duck fat in this context is better in room temperature because you want that coagulation of the fat, and so therefore it kind of provides another element to mix with the pork. Again, the duck fat was cool. It's it provides somewhat of taste, I guess. So if they didn't have the duck fat, I think I wouldn't have cared. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's why
it's nice that they have duck fat. There's kind of like that kind of sort of like nuanced flavor of the duck.
Yeah.
But really, the all the other flavors are so strong that the duck fat really becomes lost in the whole situation. Like you could have duck fat fries, right? And then you're gonna taste the duck fat because potatoes are neutral. All you're doing is potatoes, salt, and then the duck fat. So therefore, the duck fat is going to be a little more present. Whereas in this context, it's like, okay, well, the pork is spicy, and then you got the mango habanero gelée, and then you got the pickled red onions. So you're talking about some really strong flavors that are going to just really kind of destroy any of the nuances that the duck fat has to offer.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
No, it makes sense.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. And then the last hot dish that we had
In this thing.
before we dessert, because you gotta get dessert. So we got the burrito norteño, and this one is not spicy at all. So if you're afraid of spice, like to like the nth degree,
Yeah.
this is probably
Like
for
Mark.
your pleasure.
Okay.
So this has the braised short ribs that's been taken apart and shredded and all kind of all that stuff with a crispy Oaxacan cheese, which is on the exterior of the burrito, and then you've got the pinto beans, the tomatillo, the chile de arbol salsa, sour cream, queso fresco,
That's that.
and the avocado. And so this one was really good, very rich, very dense.
Yeah.
This is like, if you had this at at lunchtime, you'd probably be set for the rest of the day type thing. Very heavy.
It looks heavy.
I would say that the avocado on the inside was, I wish they would have not done that, but otherwise, everything else of this burrito was excellent. I really love the flour tortillas were homemade, so you tasted that. It was like very chewy. It was in that crispy Oaxacan cheese on the outside. That was amazing. I was like,
Yeah, that
I
looks
couldn't
really
believe
good.
how
That's
yeah it
brown.
it added that
What's that?
salty and cheesy element to it, and it really kind of elevated this dish to the next level.
Yeah, no, I like that they did that because that you don't see that often at all in a burrito
No.
Right.
at all.
Yeah. Normally they just like either they'll cook the exterior and like slather it with
Right.
sauce or just
they'll-
serve it as
Uh-huh.
is.
Exactly.
But this one really, this is what sets it apart from your standard everyday Rancho del Zocalo burrito. So.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's $24. So,
sure.
but like for us though, because of our incident, we actually got this for free as well as the
Nice.
tacos. So they didn't charge us for either of those
Oh, very nice.
items.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's good and bad. I mean, it wasn't pleasurable to bite into a bone, but at the same time, if I save $46, and I'm okay with that.
Sure.
So,
So I am curious why you didn't think the avocado. You wish they would
because
for that.
I think that the avocado should have been something that you can put on it as you go. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
a scoop of avocado on the top. So then that way, because the problem is that when you have the avocado, there's that temperature contrast, right? So you
Correct.
got the hot beef, and then you got the avocado, which is room temperature. So when you combine the two, then what's going to happen? It's going to make the meat a little bit colder, and it's going to make the avocado hot.
Yeah.
And I am a person who prefers avocado at room temperature because that way you can get the full flavor profile of the avocado. When you heat it up, you don't get that same sort of oily sensation, and it also gets lost with the beef, right? Because the beef grease, the flavor of the beef and so forth overwhelms the avocado. So yeah, the avocado provides a certain degree of creaminess and so forth, but at the same time, there's not really, the avocado is not as present in your mouth.
Got you.
Okay.
And it was like avocado, not like a guacamole.
No, it's avocado,
Okay,
not
okay.
guacamole.
Oh, okay.
Correct. So this is before they destroyed it with their guacamole. So no, I'm just kidding. I'm railing on their guacamole.
You can probably
Yeah, no,
order-
the-
I- it wasn't horrible. It's
No,
not-
you
not
don't
my
do
favorite.
you don't put peppers in there. No,
But you could order it without that, I would imagine.
No avocado. No, they'll probably
Because they don't make it fresh.
Yeah,
for
they don't
you.
make
No,
it
no, no,
fresh.
no. What I'm saying is you could
without
order
the avocado.
without the avocado. They could have that burrito without the
Oh,
avocado.
probably.
Yeah, it would actually, to be honest, in my opinion, I think it would have been better.
There you go.
I think because the avocado, yeah, I mean, it looks sexy and the pictures and stuff like that, because you got that color contrast, but honestly, it's really doesn't add to the flavor of the burrito itself.
Mm.
It's kind of like one of those things where, like, sure, it sounds good in theory, but when it comes to execution, it's just not so much.
Right.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the meat's kind of oily. Then you have the avocado. You also have the cheese on top that can
Right.
be a little bit oily. That is kind of a lot.
Exactly.
This
So,
looks
like I
so
said-
good, though. This makes me want to lose connection and go get Mexican food right now. It
Oh,
looks
yeah.
so good.
I'm doing it on the way home.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a shocker,
I need
Rudy.
to catch up, but I'll post all these pictures on Instagram. So if anybody's interested
Yeah.
in taking a look at, all the dishes that I tried, feel free to do so.
Okay.
Or not, I don't care.
So definitely, I think anybody who's going to the park soon, definitely take a look at these pictures because you will want to eat here your next trip.
Hmm.
for
Oh
sure.
yeah, for sure.
And sort of as a grand finale here, we had the guava pavlova. This is really good. It's a sort of like, I don't know. It's like a meringue filled with like these fruit elements. It was really good. It was tart. It was sweet. It was a little bit. So the foam, the little meringue foam, had it was like kind of like horchata
I see it. Yeah.
Actually, the horchata was on the interior. Excuse me, I apologize. Not the meringue itself, but on the interior, the horchata foam, and then they had the guava, and I think because they didn't have this on like their standard menu. I didn't get the full description, but regardless, it was very good. I mean, it looks like a lot, but because it's a meringue, it's really not too many calories, and it's very light and tangy, sweet but not overly sweet. And as you can see by the pictures, there's a lot of flowers, but honestly, the flowers really didn't provide. I mean, there's a slight floral element to it, but it's more for looks. But they are edible because anything that goes on your plate, you have to be able to eat per law. So, anyways, the only thing that was a bit of an issue was that the very center of the pavlova had it was a bit frozen, so it wasn't a bad thing, but it was just kind of like I didn't expect it. I kind of thought it was kind of going to be that fruit paste all the way through, but it was sort of like an ice cream or like almost like a what do you call it, not slushy, oh my gosh, not ice cream, the other thing, the
gelato,
sorbet, like a sorbet, sorbet type of element to it, which wasn't a bad thing, but I just didn't expect that, and just kind of like threw my taste buds off a little bit. But otherwise, I mean, this is a really awesome dessert. I would say that even if you're full, you could still eat some of this. So I'd say it's worthwhile. $18 is not totally unreasonable for the amount of work and effort and taste that this provides. I think it's worthwhile.
It looks really good. I would never think to order something like this, but now after seeing the pictures and hearing it, I just want to try this.
Sure.
So that's pretty much it. That's their Centrico. Afterwards, so they had just opened up their little quick service restaurant, which is called Tiendita, and you guys can see in the pictures, it's basically there's no seating around that area. So you go to the touch screen, you see the three touch screens. You don't even have to talk to anybody. You just order.
Oh yeah.
Through their mobile station there, and then you pick it up afterwards. They have a pretty good selection of dishes. We're gonna plan to try. We're planning to try some of the dishes next time we go. But you can see the full menu item there.
Yeah,
it's these prices are a little more on par with Rancho del Zocalo, so maybe this will be a better place for a foodie.
I don't see any enchiladas though.
No enchiladas.
That's true. Yeah. Well,
did you see anybody get the quesadillas there, Jay?
No, I did not.
I was curious to see if they're small or big.
You know what? It's because this place was so new. I would say there was like people were walking by it. It was only like random individuals who went by and who actually stopped and made orders. And so I think that the word needs to get out about this place. Hopefully, it does well. It seems like if this guy Carlos Gaitan is in charge of the kitchen, then I'm sure that the dishes are going to be great. But I haven't read too many reviews about this place yet. But we did get the buñuelos to take home, and so you could see that's a very last picture.
That looks awesome.
That is like basically like
funnel cake.
The brown part at the bottom. So it's like it looks like a big old almost like a wagon wheel or something like that, but the top half, so for the listeners who haven't seen this picture, and which I suggest going to Instagram and checking it out, the top half of the buñuelos is dipped in dark chocolate. It has like Oreo cookie crumbles, and then has orange and some flowers. But again, it's only, I'd say it's more visual than actual flavor. It doesn't really contribute to the flavor so much. And then the bottom half is just straight up, basically like a churro, but it's lighter and airier than a churro. It was like when we got it, we tried to bring it home and keep it intact. It wasn't happening. It just, I mean, this thing is so delicate. Like as much as I try to like wrap it, put it in a plastic, and try to keep it the same, it just immediately I put it in and just like gravity itself was, because this is so light and crispy, gravity itself was making this thing its own weight crush itself, so but that's not to say it wasn't good, because it was.
Oh, good.
It was like churros, but like lighter and airier than your churros that you get at Disneyland. It had similar flavor profile, but the differentiation is that the churros at Disneyland have, because you get them warm, and then they're a little doughier on the inside.
Yeah.
This one is kind of like light and crispy all the way through.
Mm.
Okay.
So you don't get that same depth of flavor as you do as a Disneyland churro, but it's still good. The chocolate element to it, it was nice. I appreciated that they used dark chocolate instead of milk chocolate, because it's not as sweet. And then to kind of boost up the sweetness, I guess, and maybe even add and accentuate the darkness of the chocolate is the Oreo cookie pieces. And then, and then the orange was nice. It was sort of subtle, not overwhelming, but you can definitely detect it when you ate it.
Okay.
Cool.
Looks really good.
Yeah. And then the other pictures I provided were of the Paseo restaurant. Like I said, we're going to be checking that out next month. So I'll give you a review on that in the future.
For sure.
But we're looking forward to that. But from all accounts, seems like Paseo is a winner as well. I really like Catal restaurant, but it was, again, like Uva Bar. It was like, it wasn't highly themed. It was kind of like, it was the dishes and the menu were Mediterranean in origin and influence, but you didn't really, when you looked at the restaurant itself, it was like nothing is reminiscent of like a Mediterranean sort of vibe, you know what I mean? Whereas this one is like really highly themed, really highly decorated. They did an awesome job in terms of like turning over the the architecture from Mediterranean to Mexican origin, like not just like like northern Mexico. We're talking about like deep, like southern Mexico, that kind of like the whole theme of the Oaxacan cuisine, that type of thing.
Yeah.
It looks awesome from what I've seen here.
Oh yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Trying to think. There's anything else that the last thing I'd say that we got that I didn't speak about, and this is something that we took home. That was the birria pizza. Oh yeah, we got a drink as well.
Yeah.
So let me talk about the drink real quick. It's a mocktail that my wife got. That one was called the Nobody Like You Cooler.
Yeah.
And that has the raspberry rose tea with a white cranberry, lime and orange juices, and cherry syrup. It has like an orange gummy wedge type thing.
Okay,
So
okay.
it kind of represents like an orange wedge, but it's candied instead.
Okay.
It was good. I mean, it was, it's something, again, it's a mocktail. My wife, what we do is we bring our own containers, and then we just skim off the ice and then take it, take the thing into our own container to
Right.
drink at home or whatever. And she seemed to enjoy it a lot. The candy thing was okay. I mean, just I mean, it's more visual, I think, than really the contributing factor to the flavor itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you like that. And then myself, I got a cocktail.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I'm looking at it. Uh-huh.
So this is also at Gusto's to Go. Excuse me, I should say also at Gusto's to Go, because the other one was at Four Town Flavor or whatever. This one at Gusto's to Go. This one is a little French daiquiri. It has the rum, French wine aperitif, pear nectar, cherry plum syrup, and lime juice. And it has a little bruleed pear chip.
Sounds
So basically like a dried pear, slice at the top.
Yeah.
This was pretty good. I kind of had higher expectations for it. It's very light in flavor. The alcohol, it's not like one of those things that's gonna, punch you in the mouth, but at the same time, you definitely detect alcohol. My wife is more sensitive to alcohol, so she felt it on the stronger side. But it was refreshing, something to consider for the future in terms of like the summer months, because it's going to be hot. So this is more on the refreshing side, and it's not, but it doesn't like make you feel like woozy, after you drink it.
Yeah.
And the pro tip actually was pretty good. I was kind of surprised. I was like, man, this is actually more flavorful than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just kind of like a garnish, but
Yeah.
it really does kind of, the concentrated pear flavor.
Oh.
When you bite into the chip and take a drink, then it really kind of accentuates the alcohol,
Right.
Oh,
the
nice.
beverage
Nice.
itself. Yeah. So
That looks really good to me.
Pro tip. So if you guys get this drink, take a bite of the chip and then take a drink of the alcohol.
Mm.
And this was a Pixar Fest only drink, or?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have made that clear earlier. So
It's
the
okay.
Four Town Favorites is one of the booths at
Oh.
Pixar Fest.
Okay.
And that basically they took, they rethemed the ones from the Food and Wine Festival. But they took away, they only have 6 booths, which is
Okay.
less than what they had at Food and Wine Festival. I think Food and Wine had 8, if I remember correctly. And this one, they only have 6. Also, just a FYI to people, they don't have anything like a sip and savor pass. So
Oh.
Okay.
you cannot get like multiple dishes like Food and Wine or the holiday festival holidays events. So there's no discount, and that, which is kind of a bummer, because even if you order one dish at a time, they don't provide any discounts to the food or beverages.
Hmm.
And so that was kind of a bummer. But the thing that you can do, like the Food and Wine Festival and the Festival Holidays, is that you can order all your dishes all at once at one booth. So if you know exactly what you're going to have, you just order everything with one of the cashiers,
Okay.
and then you get your receipt. You take it around to the various booths, and then you can pick up your items.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
And there's other, again, we were kind of, because my wife wasn't feeling well that day. We didn't really get to explore a lot of the other food options and stuff like that. Plus, we really wanted to try Centrico since it just opened. So that's why we didn't really explore as much as we normally do. But we still were able to try some of the dishes. Like I said, a couple of the drinks, and some of the things. Like I said, you have to eat, when you're there. Whereas like the drinks and things like that, you can take it home.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, you're not supposed to bring alcohol beverages outside the park, but that's only technical. So
Yeah.
Technically.
also at Gusto's to Go, we got another macaron.
Yeah.
In fact, before we started recording today, because we got so much extra food or whatever, like I only got around to this for lunch today. And so but I wanted to try it for you guys. So.
Okay. Oh, all right.
This one is a creme brulee. So it's a macaron. It's from Gusto's to Go. It's called aptly Gusto's macaron. It's called it's filled with a creme brulee mousse with a caramel center. Now, it's interesting because the other macaron that we got, the one with the alien, that one said it had a salted caramel brulee. Foam or whatever, and mousse. Excuse me, a salted caramel mousse.
Mm.
But it was very subtle. Whereas this one, it says that it has a caramel center, but it is actually a salted caramel center. And because it's real caramel, that salt is definitely present, and it really makes this one stand apart from the other one by leaps and bounds.
Okay.
Wow.
The creme brulee mousse also is really great. The creme brulee aspect of it is that so what creme brulee is, right? Because they take the sugar top, and then they flame it, and so it makes it like a caramelized crunchy top.
Mm-hmm.
So for however they did it, you can actually detect the smokiness of the creme brulee.
Oh, nice.
And even though it's in a mousse form, you get that kind of smoky element, and I just it really is more complex than I had first imagined it would be. And then the salted caramel, like I said, there's enough salt in there that is very present, and it offsets and accentuates the other sweet elements.
Wow, interesting.
That sounds good.
$8, yeah, not bad.
Nope.
So that kind of wraps up all my food adventure. The rest of the Pixar, I'm curious what Becky, like what her overall. Oh no, I'm sorry, I forgot to talk about the burrito pizza.
Yeah.
Oh
sure.
yeah.
One more. I'm like, hold on, one more.
I know. Sorry. One more thing. So the burrito pizza. This is something new. It didn't list this as like a Pixar Fest item, but it is something that's new on the menu at Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta. This one was really good.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's not like it's not the same level as the burrito tacos there at the Rancho Cucamonga, or the burrito cheese sandwich at Jolly Holiday. But it's really good. I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it I'd say 7.5, 8 maybe out of 10.
Okay.
I guess I'd say maybe 7.5. The reason why is the crust is so thick on the
Okay.
end. But otherwise, as far as the other elements are concerned, it all works together. The mozzarella cheese, it reminds you that even though like all the other ingredients are like birria, the cheese, because they use mozzarella instead of the other cheese, then that you can definitely tell that this is a pizza versus like a true birria dish. But the meat, it was actually quite a substantial amount of meat. I think it was like, did I list the price? Yeah, $9.49 for the value, for the size of the slice. I think it's a pretty good value. And because it comes with the consomme, I think that and you dip the consomme as you're eating it. So having the leftover crust is not necessarily a bad thing in this situation, because you can dip the crust into the consomme. So you're getting the full value of the pizza, whereas the other one, the cheeseburger pizza, the crust is almost like a throwaway. So, anyways, so yeah, I would say this is definitely something to recommend to if you've never had it before. I'd say it's worth the splurge, so to speak. So
It looks really good.
It does look good.
It does.
yeah, this is another one that, again, we were so full we took it home, so I reheated it and I made the crust a little bit crispier, so turned out really well. Otherwise, like I said, the overall vibe, I was actually kind of wanting to know, because I have a little bit of mixed feelings on the overall vibe of the Pixar Fest, and I'm just kind of wanting to get Becky's thoughts on her, her perspective, and like from her children's eyes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so of course on our trip we could only stay in, well, we only chose to do Disneyland, not do the Hopper, just because it was such a short trip, which I do think might make a difference as well. I really thought there was a lot of good details. Of course, I'm experiencing it now through my children, and my daughter's a huge Toy Story fan, so there was so much Toy Story presence that we really enjoyed that. I felt like when we were walking down Main Street, there was a lot of little details, even going into the candy shop, cast members working. I noticed one had Forky earrings on, just little different things that I really enjoyed. So I really had a good experience with it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fireworks. For something different.
We didn't stick around for the fireworks, but I did see the YouTube video. It seems pretty cool. Seems nice. I mean, definitely Disney knows how to play on your emotions. The sequence
absolutely.
with Up and all that stuff. So
yeah, they do. I thought that the show was really great. Where we were sitting, we actually sat at the Jolly Holiday to watch the fireworks.
Oh, nice. Oh,
So
nice.
we could kind of see the projections on Main Street as well as towards the castle. And so that, I really enjoyed that. I kind of looked both ways, and I thought that it was a great show. My kids both fell asleep during the fireworks, so I don't think they were as into it as we were, although my little one, like Buzz Lightyear, flew across, and then after that, she was down. But were you a little disappointed?
No, I'd say so. Here's my thing that I guess is So my feeling is that Pixar belongs in DCA, in the California Adventure Park. It does not belong in Disneyland itself. Disneyland is for the Disneyland, like the Fab Five. We're talking like all the Disneyland IP. I don't want to see Spider-Man walking around Space Mountain. You know what I mean? I don't want to see, like Captain Marvel, going on Dumbo. You know what I mean? I don't want to see Darth Vader, going into, Jolly Holiday and, ordering a cappuccino or whatever, that kind of thing.
Yes.
I don't want to, I don't want to see the characters that are not Disneyland, proper. Be introduced or be a part of Disneyland itself. I understand, those Lightyear's Astro Blasters or whatever. So fine, it's hidden away. Nobody really pays attention to it unless they, they want to go into the attraction specifically. Star Wars, yes, I understand. I mean, Tomorrowland is problematic, just altogether.
Yeah.
But again, going back to you guys' T-shirt logo, and they make Tomorrowland great again, right? I mean, so somebody needs to really sit down and rethink Tomorrowland. But regardless of what I'm trying to say is that I think that Pixar really, I mean, if you want to put it in the Esplanade, cool, do it up, and which they did.
Yes.
They got the nice little display there, and the bunting and the banners and the light fixtures, etc. But like Disneyland itself, it's like seeing the Pixar stuff on Main Street. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's almost anachronistic. You know what I mean? Because Main Street is supposed to be, turn of the century, time period when Walt was alive. I mean, there's no such thing as Buzz Lightyear. I mean, there's no such thing as, like Doug or, like, all the other properties, the IP and stuff like that, and then, down in or at the Fantasyland Fair or Fantasyland Theater or whatever. I mean, oh my gosh, the area there, Fantasyland.
Yeah,
Theater,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fantasyland.
The way that they do the stage show and the character meet greets and stuff like that, it just, they got characters from like Onward and Luca and things like that, just kind of like very like, they weren't successful movies, but, I guess, it's trying to like, get the kids involved and interested, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It just kind of feels out of place to me, so that's the thing. My wife didn't seem to mind it. I guess it's just me, I'm not, it just, for me, I'm just like thinking, you can do all that stuff in DCA itself, you know what I mean? And just, leave Disneyland alone and, or just,
Yeah.
Definitely can get your point on that. Whenever it was first announced, we had talked about it, and I thought the same thing. Why are they having it over there? Now, not going to DCA, I can't give a perspective on that, but I do have a coworker that is a Magic Key holder. So he goes a lot. We talk about it, and he said when he just went for Pixar Fest, he felt that there wasn't enough presence of Pixar Fest in DCA.
Oh, in DCA.
He felt like everything was over.
Exactly. That was weird because it was like they had like a set amount of props or decorations, and they tried to spread them to both parks, whereas they should have just kind of like used whatever they had at Disneyland, just put it in DCA and spread it out all over the park there. You know what I mean? Because it just felt like, I mean, there's like elements of Pixar, but it didn't feel like the entire park was immersed in Pixar. Even though that's where they have the main parade, right? And so, I don't know, it's just, and then the parade itself too is kind of weird. It's like, I didn't stay to watch it, but, I remember, I think it was 2018 or something like that, they had the Pixar Play Parade back then, and they had, from my recollection, I think it was like 9 floats or something, and now they only have 6, and it's kind of like almost like a structured, like, it's weird. It's like, okay, you got a float and then you got 5 dancers. You got a float, you got 5 dancers. You got a float, you got 5 dancers. You know what I mean? It's almost like repetitive. You know what I mean? It was kind of boring and like sort of like, why? You know what I mean? It's there's no spontaneity. Like the other parades, it's just like you're interspersed with dancers or little other smaller, like like vehicles or something like that, or maybe people with larger than life costumes, not just like people who dress up in a just a regular costume, but we're talking about the ones with like the headdress and or like
Right.
something carrying around things or walking on sticks or something like that. It just these are just like five like 20-year-old dancers, just kind of like twirling around and dancing to the music, but then they're not really doing much besides smiling and dancing. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like boring.
I YouTubed that one, which kind of solidified my decision to not do any time at DCA, just because it kind of lacked something for me too.
Right. And then they were like missing so many of the major IPs. I mean, they were missing Cars Land, Cars movie, I should say, and they're missing like Bugs Life. They're missing Toy Story. I'm just like the major hitters. You know what I mean? They were trying to push.
Like Luca.
Right, exactly.
And I forget the one with the red bear.
Turning Red?
Turning Red.
Yeah, Turning Red. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they had Soul, which I mean, I like that they did floats for them, but at the same time, it's like don't try to just ram it down our throats. Trying to sell kids to subscribe to Disney Plus to watch these shows, or movies. Just just do like get your major hitters and make the whole family happy, not just trying to sell the kids on like, hey, you should watch these movies because you haven't seen them before.
Yep.
Because I know that some of the other podcasts I've listened to, they're like commenting that like their kids are like, well, who's that? What's that character? I don't understand, that kind of thing. They get confused. And so then you got to tell them like, well, it's a character from this particular movie. And, because they haven't seen it, just like, oh, let's see that movie, and it's just like, oh, there you go. I got to spend, whatever, $10 a month or, whatever. I don't know how much Disney Plus costs anymore, but I stopped my subscription, like, after my 30 years ran out from the initial run. So...
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you're describing what I've been saying for a while. Disney's gotten into the habit of trying like this is what you're gonna like, and we're like, no, not really. I mean, cool, but no.
I mean, they're trying to do the whole synergy thing,
Yeah.
But the problem is that sometimes when you're trying to force something, it's it could backfire on you.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I for as much as they have into metadata and all that thing, and then farming all of that, I'm like, you guys are missing like the main one there, like what IP we're really into.
Right.
It always feels like that way. I'm like, no, who I mean, I enjoyed Soul, but how many people have actually seen it? I've seen it twice. It's a really good movie. Encanto, everybody knows my whole thing with Encanto. I haven't made it through. I've tried it 3 times. I'm done. I'm not gonna try again. And then Coco is like by far a superior film. But what am I going to say?
Luca. I mean,
Luca was good too.
Have seen that.
Yeah, Luca was good, but it's not one of those ones where I enjoyed Luca. But again, this is one of the problems with Disney. Just to touch on it real quick, is those were Soul, Luca, and Turning Red were all Disney Plus Soul releases, and then now they're kind of like, oh wait, what are we going to do with these? Right? And so that's why I don't like it. They're trying to foster a following for it, but it needs to happen organically.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
No, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, that's it. That's my only complaint. Otherwise, I appreciate that the food is definitely better than the Pixar Fest from before.
Awesome.
And I appreciate that they actually have booths this time. The Pixar Fest in the past, they just had it, special menu items.
Yeah.
But they didn't actually, have the booths geared or themed towards Pixar itself. The dishes, the Pixar dishes at Disneyland, I didn't get to try any of those. I was a little bit leery. I mean, when it comes to baked potatoes or whatever, I'm a little, I don't know. I'm just like, dude, it's a baked potato. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
I mean, I might try it. I mean, like I said, that Papa Loca seems to be pretty popular, so maybe give that a shot. But I heard mixed reviews, like Becky said, about that burnt ends barbecue baked potato, and the cold
it
brew.
definitely wasn't bad if you're in that area, but I wouldn't seek out to go get it.
Yeah, but I mean, for the price that you're paying, I mean, you can invest it into another dish that's a little bit more worth your stomach real estate.
Yes.
It's definitely true. And the reason why we went there is because we were in Toontown quite a bit more than I'm used to,
Mm-hmm.
and preventing a meltdown, so we tried to grab something that's close. And it
Yeah,
was
next time
there.
you should go get that fold over pizza.
Oh, yes,
at
I
the
have
Toontown?
heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That is
Okay,
good.
that's
Yeah.
good to know. I wasn't sure if it would actually be good, or one of those things that's like a frozen pizza.
Yeah, it's this is it's no theme park pizza. I'll tell you that.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
this one, and because it's in Toontown area, I was really surprised because I had been sort of really negative about Toontown in terms of their cuisine, because in the past they had just like hot dogs or hamburger
Right.
kind of thing, and just like kind of things that just you're just gonna stick it into a kid's face and keep them quiet, and
Yeah.
whereas this one is actually tasty. So
Hey, that's good to know.
Very good to
Cool.
know. Yeah.
all right, guys. Well, anything else?
No, I think we had a really good review of Pixar Fest. We learned a lot about
Yep.
the food, especially the downtown Disney stuff, which I was also very much interested in that. And now I'm a believer of Paseo and Centrico. You've changed my mind with that, Jay. Oh, sorry, I was just looking at Udi when I said
That's all
that.
right, no, we're brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
hard to tell.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm very curious about Paseo now. So,
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It is again going to be on the pricier side, but then again, like I said, sometimes you got to splurge or whatever.
You've got to.
Centrico, like I said, it is a little bit more on the expensive side, but the quality food is excellent. Tiendita, my expectations are it's going to be good cuisine as well.
Yeah,
Definitely
I'm
better than
curious.
that little takeout spot that they had next to Tortilla Joe's. I forgot what it was called, but
I don't remember.
because I honestly I never ate there, but every time I walked in there, it kind of gave me like Taco Bell vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, what was that place?
I don't remember.
Oh
Yeah, I can't even remember.
shoot, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I forgot the name of that place.
Yeah, well, it's forgettable.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that location will have this nice steakhouse probably like in a year or so, is my guess.
We'll see. I'm
We'll
curious.
see. And
You
Barbie.
know what's strange is that they would think to open a steakhouse because there's 3 other steakhouses that are like within like a few blocks from Disneyland, right? And I think Morton's, Fleming's Steakhouse, and Ruth Chris.
Okay.
So I mean, those are all like upscale steakhouse
Yeah, but
restaurants,
they're
right?
trying to probably
I
pull
understand
from
the
them.
Like Steakhouse 55 is inside the Disneyland Hotel, so it's a bit of a novelty.
Yeah.
Downtown Disney, anybody could park and go into the restaurant, right? So
Yeah.
that's the thing. Why would you open another steakhouse, and you're competing with like 3 of the restaurants in close proximity? So that's kind of weird.
It is.
I mean, maybe they should think of something a little more original, more unique, but whatever. Speaking of unique, actually, I don't know if you guys have heard, or I'm just curious if you guys have heard, but I've been hearing rumors that Porto's is not going to be going to Downtown Disney after all.
I heard that too, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't know. It would be a bummer, but I understand. I mean, they have one location in Winter Park, which is by Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that they didn't want to compete with themselves, so to speak. But at the same time, it's like you kind of have a captive audience
Yeah.
in Disneyland Resort.
Sure.
Whereas, Buena Park, people have to drive, away from the resort to get to that location. So I don't know. Who knows? Or maybe they said, "Oh, Disney, you know what? You're going to exploit us, so we're not going to go."
It could be there. Yeah, maybe contractually they're like, no, we don't like what you're putting down. Yep. No.
But if they're not coming in there, then I wonder what happens to Earl's Sandwich now. Do they go back?
I don't know, man.
Huh.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's because I don't know. It seems like their plans seem to change every few months or so.
They do.
It's kind of weird.
Yep.
But we'll see. And I'm curious about like the barbecue restaurant that they said that's going to be next to the steakhouse.
Yep,
at
yep.
Tortilla Joe's.
Yes.
And is it going to be like more of a quick service place or?
I hope
sit-down
not.
place,
I
or-
hope not. I think it needs to be a sit down.
Well, what I think is that they need to turn Smoke Jumper's Grill into a barbecue place. Because
I agree with that
smoke is
too.
in the name,
I
you
agree
know?
with that too. I
Yes.
totally agree with that.
And you know, to this day, it still baffles me why they got rid of their barbecue ribs, because I really liked their barbecue ribs that they had when it was before it was Smoke Jumper's Grill was
Oh yeah,
Oh my
what was
gosh.
it? Oh yeah, what was it
remember.
before? Smoke Jumper's Grill. Now I'm getting old. I I remember
yeah,
that.
I can't recollect, but regardless, they had like these. It was like a 1337 X rib plate or something like that, and it was like smoked pork barbecue ribs, and man, they were good. I mean, I was like kind of missed those. I mean, they were sort of like similar to the ones that they had served at the Woody's Roundup barbecue. You know, so
Was it Taste Pilots, Jay?
there you go, Taste Pilots. There you go.
Okay.
Actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
Taste Pilots,
exactly.
yeah. Okay, Taste Pilots. Yes, remember.
See, your memory's better than mine.
But those were different. You said they were different than the ribs that were in the
No, they're
Big
similar.
Thunder barbecue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big Thunder Ranch Barbecue. Well, it was Woody's Barbecue for a bit, right? Woody Roundup Barbecue or something like that, or I'm thinking confusing with Walt Disney World.
I
You're
think
think-
you're confusing Walt Disney World.
Okay,
Unless there
all
was
right.
a.
No, it was Big Thunder Ranch Barbecue. No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
My bad. So, sorry. It's been a long talk. I've been talking about all this food.
I know, right?
Uh-huh.
Anyways,
But yeah, we should definitely see what that steakhouse produces, and hopefully it's something we can experience soon. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Awesome, Jay. So, can you tell our listeners where they can find more information about you?
just the only social media account I have that people can take a look at the pictures that we just discussed about today is the SB Hoppa Boy. S is in Sam. Santa Barbara. SB. And then
Okay.
Hoppa HAPA and then BOY.
Okay. We'll definitely link that onto Instagram. And then we will have you back on. Well, actually, whenever you want to come out on, Jay.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about Paseo, that would be great because I want to hear your experience with that as well.
Cool. Awesome.
Definitely.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, and hope you guys have a great day. And to all the listeners, thank you so much for listening, and hoping you guys definitely follow Leaving Today on Instagram and all the other social
Thank you.
media platforms.
Yes.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right. Thank
All
you, Jay.
right.
Have a
Thanks,
good
Jay.
Bye. Wow. Okay, Jay. Thank you so much for spending that time with us. I hope you listeners really enjoyed it. I learned a lot about Pixar Fest. A little combination of Becky and Jay on there, and then a little bit of downtown Disney news as well. And that did change my mind about the Paseo Centrico thing. But again, listeners, if you want to reach out to Jay, he's more than welcome to, you're more than welcome to send us any question you have, and we'll pass along to Jay, and he'll try it, or he'll give you his opinion. And anytime he comes on, it's great, and I look forward to the next one. And that's you can reach him at SB Happy Boy on Instagram. Yeah. All right, so that's going to wrap up episode number 197.
Wow.
I know, wow. And this is going to teach us out right now. Listeners, episode 200 is coming up in a month and a half, I suppose. So I will ask you now, kindly, if you want to become part of the show, send us a voicemail at info@leavingtodaypodcast.com, and I'll play it on the air. And that I'm going to keep just asking you to do that. Just leave us a voicemail, maybe how the show has... I don't know what it means to you, or what it doesn't mean to you, or just I don't know, something, anything you want to say. You can say, I hate the LTP. You guys should stop. And like, great, I'll go ahead and play that for you.
Yep.
No, I'd like any listener to get involved, and we're going to try to maybe have people call in, maybe live for the show. We did that before.
Yeah.
Okay, so to reach us again, it is info@leavingtodaypodcast.com. That's our email. You can follow us on Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast. Also, if you'd like to support the show, we have Patreon links on there, on the link tree, and on leavingtodaypodcast.com. Yeah, I think I said that right. Okay, Udi, for more banter that is witty, where can they find you?
You can find me mainly on my Instagram and then on Twixter, both the same handle, HAXGOALIE, Hacks Goalie.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then, Becky, where can you be found?
You can find me on Instagram at Becky_Weimer, which is BECKY_WEIMER.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And then I encourage any LTP listeners to go out and reach out to her. She's very nice, and she will answer your questions. She try. Yeah, maybe she's not. I have no idea. I would imagine she is. Anyways, yeah. So do reach out to her or reach out to any of us. All right. So that's going to wrap up this show. We love you, adventurers out there, and we'll see you in the parks.
See you.
Bye. Cheers.
All right.
Okay.
Sorry. Now that I cracked it.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
I like it.